I think we finally got it, maybe, and that's why I just started by stalling at the beginning in case I still got it wrong. Hello and welcome to episode 4 overall of Anarchs of New York. Tonight's episode is "Words Are Easy Like the Wind." This has been brought to you by Level Up Dice, that has helped bring the Anarchs of New York Twitter story that I've been running to life here in vibrant color with all these beautiful, amazing people here that are all drawn up so wonderfully. In fact, let's just meet our vampires now. Now, again, the way they are arranged on my screen is slightly different than the way they're arranged on your screen, so I will call them out here. Let's start with the lady in pink, Emily.
Hi, I am Emily Floyd. I am the corporate manager for Level Up Dice, and in this game, I play the Toreador Cherry Thorn, who, before her embrace, you saw her in that thing. Actually, it's coming to Netflix now, but
Yeah,
first, it's got a buyout from Hulu, and so, but catch it in, you know, you remember it,
Yeah, Tiger
nostalgia.
King.
yeah, no, it's like super dope. Yeah, no, she was one of the stunt tigers in Tiger
Yeah.
King. Yes, right, exactly. Mr. Todd.
Uh, yeah, I am playing Hugo. He is a Nosferatu, and that's about it. He's recently awakened from I don't know how long of a slumber, but it's very horrifyingly long. So he's a little out of touch.
In indeterminately long sleep. Yes. Mason.
Yeah, so my name is Mason Dula. I am playing Eli Decker. I'm a caitiff, cowboy gunslinger type guy, a little bit out of his time, but he just wants to make the world a little bit of a better place. You can find me normally over on WizardX TV here on Twitch, where we do D&D and Call of Cthulhu right now. And so, yeah, thanks for showing up, guys. We appreciate it.
Justice.
Hi, I'm Justice. I'm the experience manager at Level Up Dice, and for this fine gaming session, I am playing Dmitry Volkov-Borosovich. He is a gangrel kindred from beyond the Iron Curtain.
He's Hugo is the best boy, but Dimitri, he's a good boy, right? If he's like Miss Melee Damage, Master of Disguise here. Like, this is a completely different look, and I love it. It's incredible.
Hello, I am Melee, otherwise known as Melee Damage, and I will be playing Abaddon, the Lasombra.
Who's again, the best person, just a fine assemblage of just morally upstanding people here that we've gathered. And last but definitely not least, Diana.
Hi guys, I am Diana D'Amico. I am also with Level Up Dice, and I'll be playing Esther, who is a bruja this evening.
And also, I think we have some other announcements, which I think you might be specially qualified to give
just
here.
a couple little things. So, first of all, thank you guys so much for showing up and for watching this. I wasn't exactly sure how it was going to go, but I'm super stoked at how everything's turned out. Thank you, B. Dave and Todd and May and Mason for sort of helping the Level Up crew stumble through this experience. We've enjoyed it so much that even though we originally were only going to be doing 4 segments, we've actually decided to do 8 instead, so there will be 4 more episodes after tonight. We'll be back every Friday at the same time. You can come back and see more of our adventure here. We are also, tonight it looks like we're going to be getting to another Vampire the Masquerade dice giveaway. So if we hit 50 subs throughout the course of the game tonight, I'll go ahead and open up a lottery, and we'll have 3 separate winners for some Vampire the Masquerade dice.
I was so enthusiastically lunging for my dice. That right there was what a messy critical's really like, y'all, that I was able to get to my dice, but knock the camera over in the process. Again, you win at a price. Yes, the clan dice are incredible. Again, I have my beloved clan Ventru dice here, which
you gotta do the makeup. You gotta do one of these.
Yeah, but see, but I don't want to
thing.
obscure my moneymaker. See, I don't want to.
Fair.
Yeah, right. But yes, they are incredible dice. So there you go. What, 50 subs, and it will be a lottery. So if you've yet to sub to twitch.tv/levelupdice, this would be an optimal time to do so. Maybe there's a little something in it for you, you know? And of course, I'm B. Dave Walters. I'm everyone else in the universe. Got a Kickstarter going right now for Electropunk with some custom level up dice swag attached to the project there. So go take a look. It is super dope. Some things that are available only for backers. And with that being said, now let's get on with our vampire story. Last week, through the substantial social connections of Miss Cherry Thorn, you all had gotten the address for the Pillow Party, which is a moving must know someone who knows someone who knows someone rave that shows up on occasion. And you all had gotten a lead that someone you were looking for might be present there. However, as you all were departing the cathedral, where Avedon lays her head every morning, where the vicar who has tasked all of you all with defending this particular piece of turf resides, you all were assaulted by the Second Inquisition outside, by a joint task force of the NYPD and the Second Inquisition that you all easily defeated, maybe too easily defeated, and made your getaway in one of their vans, which you had the foresight to quickly ditch on your way to the party. Once you got there, you all split up into two groups, one to try the social approach that was Esther, Cherry, and Hugo, and the other that were willing to get their hands a little dirtier, using Dimitri's contacts to get in for the people that had been paid to provide security, where Dimitri and Avedon and Eli went through the back. You all met up ultimately through a sequence of events at a very, very old speakeasy that dated back to the earliest times of New York City, deep, deep underground, run by a Nosferatu named Gigolo, who gave you some insight into the fact that whoever has been hitting all of the places that the vicar tipped you off to have all been attacking his organization. He told you that his main competitor is a guy named Memphis, who operates on the other side of Central Park, at least before now. They've had somewhat of an uneasy understanding that sort of you stay over there, I'll sort of stay over here, and we just kind of won't interfere in each other's business. And even though you all were deeply suspicious, Gigolo himself did not necessarily believe Memphis was behind it, but of course, understood, you never know. You stay in this business long enough, you realize you can't really trust anyone. He gave you all the phone number of a Nosferatu contact by the name of Napalm, who works for Memphis and frequents Central Park. He also gave you a list of some of his other holdings, although he himself was completely not clear on what the pattern of the break-ins is. So he wasn't able to tell you, like, oh, I think they're going to come here. He was just like, this is what else I've got. It was mostly unassuming stuff, like a coin wash, washateria type thing, a little coffee shop, some unassuming looking apartments, nothing that just screamed break in here to rob the place. But quite frankly, Gigolo wasn't also necessarily 100% forthcoming with everything that happens at every one of those places. In the process of all of this, a man named Seth Smithson, who originally seemed like a Cherry Thorn superfan, was revealed to be a Inquisition plant that was helping them find her. In fact, he's the one that had tipped off that she would have been at the cathedral. Hugo slipped this poor bastard a little bit of his vitae, thereby ghouling the man, which you all witness happened as dry patches formed on his face and clumps of hair fell out. And to show his dedication and love, not just to Cherry, but to his new master, Hugo, revealed to you all that the Second Inquisition was on the way to Cherry's house as we speak. And now you all find yourself still in Gigolo's speakeasy.
Cherry, now just don't panic. We're gonna take care of this if we just
I'm not panicking.
Okay, well that's good.
I'm
You
not
look like...
panicking.
I think she might be panicking. Perhaps we should perhaps we should move this conversation to somewhere a little more private.
Gigolo, who is still standing there, although I believe he had reverted from his form of A-Rod, so is standing there, a 600-pound undulating mass of Nosferatu that looks somewhere between a bullfrog and just a chunk of raw chicken, looks at you, Cherry, and says, "Oh, that's terrible. Ain't got no respect. You know, you don't attack family. If you need any assistance, Cherry, I'd be happy to help."
What does your help look like?
What do you need it to look like?
I think maybe she's inquiring what it's going to cost her.
Oh, hey, you know, I'm a lot of things, but I'd be a monster to try and take advantage of your emotional weak point. We could just say that you owed me one.
If there's one thing I've noticed, it's that people think I'm stupid. But I'm not so stupid as to pretend that we aren't all monsters. We're gonna handle this on our own, right? And I look at everyone like, because I realize I'm not so sure you're all gonna help me.
Of course, I'll be willing to help out. I would be remiss if I were to ignore a lady in need.
I mean, it's still early. I suppose I can help out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna help.
I'm gonna look to
I'm trying not
Abaddon.
to choke this guy to death right now.
You're no fun.
You have my support for whatever you need, Cherry.
Then you have Dimitri's fangs as well.
Thanks.
When you
You should
all
give those back.
when you all say that, Gigolo looks at you all and he's kind of like, "Whoa, ain't you all like the fucking vampiric Brady Bunch? I love it." And he snaps his fingers, and a different person, one of the women that was just sort of like dancing again in her like old-timey flapper garb, stops what she's doing, goes over to the bar and pulls something out and comes over to you, Hugo. And it is another disposable a disposable phone, prepaid burner phone.
Why do people keep giving me these things? I don't understand.
That one is exactly for you. You ever need to call for backup?
It means they want to
Emily
be your
first.
friend, Hugo.
Oh, we ain't friends, we's family.
Same thing.
And family looks out for each other, right?
Not my family, but maybe.
All right, cousin, all right. Hey, look, Cherry, I meant what I said. So, you go on, get out of here. Do you need a car or something at least? That one's on the house. The car is on the house. He just like, and you see people like drinking and smoking opium and things. They're like, And Eli the bartender reaches over and pulls a little rope, and there's like a velvet curtain type thing next to the bar, and it slides open, and there are several pairs of keys hanging there.
Okay. Several pairs. Do they
Yes.
have any indication of what sort of vehicle they go to?
I apologize. His name is not Eli. Your name's Eli. I
Okay,
think
that would
I just wrote his name down. You know what? It's gonna be Elias now. Now his name's Elias. I don't know what
You
I
know
said. I don't know what I said last week. Now it's Elias.
Oh, the man at the bar.
Yes, the barkeep.
Doc.
Doc. There you go. Well, there you go. Win one for old Dave. Again, past me, source of all my problems.
Too real.
Yeah.
Too real.
That's
Personal horror.
what it is now. Now it's a vampire game, a storytelling game of personal horror. Yes. You were saying something, Eli.
I mean, you said he opens a thing. And there's a bunch of keys. Like, are they random, or do they have cute little keychains that show like a little miniature vehicle so that we know which kind of vehicle they're to?
He walks right over to it, and you see he has let go of the firearm that you all figured out was under the bar. You still never
Okay.
saw what it was, but you can see both of his hands. And he's like, "Oh, what'll do? What can I do you for? You know, we've got sporty, we've got SUV, we've got tactical, we've got police. What's your pleasure?"
So at the end of last episode, I had tried to order a vehicle as well. So I'm gonna let the group decide this because we'll talk about that in a second.
Gigolo did turn on the Wi-Fi boost, so your call did go out, so your order did go. So
Alright.
yes, you basically have either the call service you've summoned, or they're offering you guys to have these vehicles on the house.
Now, Cherry, I'm not gonna deny you, of course, having your free vehicle here, but and I'm gonna kind of lean into her, even though I know that everybody is listening. But they may not say that you owe them anything, but that doesn't mean they won't come knocking later.
Oh, yeah. We're going with your car.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate the kindness. We're gonna be on our way, and we hope to work with you again soon, then, sir.
Doc just pulls on the rope, and like the velvet curtain slides back over, and Gigolo says, yeah, of course. I got a lot of respect for your various organizations. And he motions at Dimitri and at Abaddon. He's like I said, you guys help me out, get to the bottom of who's knocking over my places. You'll have my gratitude along with the Vickers. And my gratitude goes further than you might expect. Then he points at Seth Smithson, who is still on the ground, slowly crawling towards your feet, Cherry. Like, please let me help, Cherry. I didn't know. I just love you, Cherry.
Maybe we don't cry, right? Because it's hard to. I mean, you can still cry without tongue, so.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you can do it without eyes. Okay,
That's a-
good. That's
Interesting
better.
point.
Before, like, when he first is crawling to me, I literally lift my foot like I have the impulse to kick him, and then after Hugo talks to him, I just take a step back.
I'm gonna make this up to you, Cherry. I'm gonna prove myself to you, Hugo. It's
I don't want to hear you say that name again. You're done.
And he does just sort of like collapse into a heap, somehow made more miserable now by his patchy face and, plugs of hair missing that are just sort of sitting on the floor. And he kind of idly picks one up and looks at it and puts it down. He goes, "What do you want me to do?"
You're gonna follow us around, and you're not gonna talk, and you're gonna do what I tell you.
Okay. And he does sort of look at you for a second, Cherry, like he's gonna say something, and then he just sort of closes his mouth and just like looks back down.
We need to go. We should go. Can we go? Is the car here? What's going on, Eli?
I check my delivery service. Is it here?
It's en route. Yep. You figure if you head up, you'll get outside about the time the car arrives.
Yep, should be here soon. Let's go ahead and pack our things and head out. Again, thank you, sir. We hope to see you again soon.
Yeah, again, I like the cut of your jib, buddy. You come back, we'll trade some more stories, right?
I hope so.
Dimitri, you were gonna say something?
Is there a back door to this place? I'd rather not go back through the riot upstairs.
You know there's a back door.
As Abaddon walks out, she just kind of springs her arms of Aramon and salutes with one of the tentacles and goes, "Ta-ta, boys."
One of the people smoking opium stands up, and Gigolo looks at you, Dimitri, and he says in Russian, "Anything for the family." And he motions towards a completely different direction than the one you guys came in.
Thank you, my friend. This will not be forgotten.
And Gigolo just sort of turns and looks at all of you for a second and turns into a perfect like mid-80s Hasselhoff. Like complete with like down to the belly button, shirt open type thing, and just like sits back at the table and grabs a drink. And he's like, "Good hunting." Do you guys go?
Oh yeah, I'm making my way.
The person, the opium smoker, kind of like leads you through some of these claustrophobic tunnels. Again, Hugo, as your eyes are sort of like casually scanning around, there's all sorts of marks here that are expressly made for Nosferatu to understand. Oftentimes they're the exact opposite of what they mean, where it's like go left here, that means go right. There's times that it's like danger ahead actually means it's very dangerous ahead. Like it's kind of an elaborate code that you can read, and you're sure you could find your way back here if you had to. For the rest of you, it's just steamy, dirty tunnels. Left, left, right, right, left, 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 up, up, down, up some stairs, across, back. Wait, why are we going back downstairs? And we're on the street. like,
This is the only time I felt comfortable.
You realize you're about a block away from where you were. In fact, I will make use of Dimitri's glorious backdrop, and you all are roughly where Dimitri is, and the car is roughly back there at those yellow lights. So you've emerged on the streets a couple of blocks over.
All right.
Who's that guy with that laptop?
He knows too much. No witnesses. Yeah.
Anybody else want to drive? I think I might want to help Hugo with the learn how firearms work these days.
I cannot drive right now. I am way too distraught.
Well, of course. I was really more hoping that just Dimitri would volunteer.
I can drive.
If I'm being completely honest.
Not
No,
really
you don't,
my
Hugo.
strong suit.
All right. Well, how about this, Dimitri? And I'm gonna hand him the revolver that I was holding on to for Hugo at this point. How about I'll drive, and you can teach Hugo how these things work on the way.
This is my specialty. Yes.
Okay.
All of you, give me your wits and awareness.
Nothing could possibly go wrong teaching a Nosferatu in the back of a van how to use a firearm.
I believe in all of you.
Now I know how my criticals look on my test.
How is hunger working right now? So are we just where we were last time?
It's just since this is kind of an unbroken sequence of events. Like there's no innate rouse check. It's you just were where you were.
That's 3 for Abaddon.
3 for Abaddon.
3 here.
3,
Three.
4.
Wits and what?
Awareness. And remember to replace some of those dice with your hunger dice. Again, I didn't say this at the top of this, especially if you've been watching, you already know. But again, this is the first campaign, the first chronicle of Vampire for most of our players. The only one who had played before now was Melee Damage, who is our ringer. And although I've run the story, I do not know much about New York. So this is all uncharted territory for all of us. So forgive any and all questions or misstatements here. Although
If it
I
helps,
give...
you could make up whatever you wanted. We wouldn't know.
Oh, I kind of have, but Emily would. So if you see her brow, furrow, like, that's not a thing. That's why.
Yeah, I'll look to her to know to be disappointed.
I'm the resident New Yorker, so I'll just make the grumpy New Yorker face.
Exactly. But I'm like, it's imagination. Did anybody get more than 4 there, by the way? Okay.
Yeah.
So I can spend my willpower and re-roll?
You can. However, your willpower only comes back when you sleep.
Okay.
So your willpower expenditures over the past few sessions are still compounding.
That is true.
Be advised. Yes. So yes, you can, but do understand it is an exhaustible resource. I will do you the favor of being slightly meta and saying this is not a life or death if you don't notice you're about to die type of situation.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
I'll take the lifeline
then. I'm like, you don't notice the red dot on Hugo's head.
Well, good game.
Yeah, GG. Thank you all for tuning in. We said we'd do more episodes. We didn't say it'd be more episodes with you guys.
Oh. Okay, bye.
Wow.
Esther. While everybody's like trying to figure out the car, you see Cherry is like kind of pacing slightly. Can we just get on with it? Dimitri and Eli are discussing who's going to teach Hugo how to use a firearm. Abaddon looks coolly predatory like always. You hear some familiar voices coming from the direction of the party. Like, yeah, woo! We up in here. We up in here.
Could I kind of just take a couple steps in that direction, and I'm gonna guess it's my friends who I invited.
100%. It is your friends. Honestly, some friends of friends. Even like,
those people.
yeah. Like, yeah. I mean, you know them. But yeah. Your people are definitely at the pillow party now. And you hear the odd, oh my God, who invited these people? Also echoing out in the midst of all of it. You very much hear the like bumping techno, sort of like, and then very different music starts playing right afterwards.
What kind of music?
Let's see. Well, which crowd did you invite? Did you invite the ska crowd, the punk crowd, the new metal crowd?
I invited whoever's gonna come and pay the most for my photos. That's the person I invited.
I'm gonna say that they got good taste. Then we're gonna go with some very late '90s Rage Against the Machine.
Man, I was hoping for new wave Carney.
I'm gonna sort of like
yeah.
pump a fist and go back to the group. My work here's done.
Yeah, no, Esther, it's distinctly better. Yes. Like you have made the party better. Yes. Yes. I would say those of you that got the 3 on the wits and awareness might notice a satisfied grin on Esther's face, but that's about it. Yeah. Other than that, are you guys heading out? What kind of car did you call, Mason?
So, I was imagining something that would fit us, obviously, but I don't want a van particularly. Maybe like a
Suburban,
Mercedes, maybe like a Mercedes G class, so that way it's big, but also still kind of a little classy.
You get like an 8-seater. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you guys noticed like a 2021 Mercedes SUV rolls up. You know, that is again, which is interesting because he's all like retro and vintage in his clothing, but you know, the call he made brought like this essentially land-bound spaceship comes rolling up with every possible like bell, whistle, and accoutrement.
This is very nice car, my friend.
Oh, thank you. It is pretty nice. I think they did a good job. I gave him a random selection. Seems not so bad. As I kind of like go in, I test the door. The keys just like hanging in there.
Oh yeah, it's ready for it. In fact, as you all are approaching the car, a man gets out that is dressed very similarly to you, and literally just tips his hat and turns and promptly walks the other way across the street.
All right.
Yeah, like this never happened.
All right, I'm just gonna hop right in then.
As I get in, I say, "Thank you, Eli. You must have remembered that I filmed a music video in one of these, and you wanted me to be comfortable."
That was the exact reason. And I'm gonna close the door and get in.
This child, she has no concept.
Cherry, where do your parents live?
79th and Central Park West. So we need to go all the way uptown on the west side.
For those of you that don't really know a lot about New York City, I myself am one of those people, but I am aware of where she is directing you is an incredibly prestigious area. Like this is one of the most expensive pieces of real estate, honestly, on Earth. Yep.
All right.
And
do I know how to get there?
I would say, but between her being sitting right there, like
Okay,
between technology and someone who lives there, you can, yeah. By now, it is approaching midnight because you all have had a fairly eventful evening. Again, you all came essentially straight to the church, like right when you woke up. And you've had your meeting there, traveled the altercation with the Inquisition, a few moments at the pillow party, and now you're on your way. So it is still early New York time, but definitely getting later. While you all are driving, Seth looks over at you, Avedon, and he's like, hey.
Yes, tiny quiet man.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Why do those people want to hurt you guys. They said you were terrorists and kidnapping Cherry, and now he's looks so strange, and I look so strange.
They are very confused, and you, for all of this, are very welcome.
Did he like give me a disease or something? Cause look at my skin, look at my hair. Cherry's never gonna want me looking like this.
Um, Sweetheart, I've got news for you. I think that ship may have sailed before that happened, but, and hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. I'm sure you have other gifts now you can use to impress her.
He sort of looks around for a second, and he's like, she has to know that I'm her biggest fan. You know, everybody thought Beach Blanket Bingo 6 was the wrong move, but no, she should have gotten a Tony for that one. Her performance was
I
very
snap his neck.
Do you really kill your ghoul?
Oh, thank you for that.
I
Hugo.
told him to say that name again, and he did twice.
Beach
Dead dude in the boot.
blanket? What don't you want to hear, Hugo?
He keeps on saying our name. He's a stalker.
Now, Hugo, while I do agree that was he was annoying and clearly had some issues there, and I know you've been out of it for a long time, but we do now have a dead man in the back of our vehicle.
Oh, I can fix that. And
Only
Abaddon
have more than one.
will pick him up and drain as much as she can out of him, and then yeet him out the window.
So death from a broken neck is not instantaneous. So I would say that you can also get 2 points of hunger out of him before he slips off the mortal coil, and you fling his corpse at the door of a moving vehicle.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait until we're going down like a side road somewhere, like we're through a tunnel or near like a river. You know, good old mob style. He's got a broken neck. I'm gonna lick the wound close after I feed from him, so there's no like external sign of vampirism that's happened.
Like Times Square.
Let's just see how subtle you are in your body disposal. Give me your. So, for those of you that know me, I live for bizarre combinations of strength and skill. This is one of those times. Give me your strength plus either subterfuge or larceny. You see if you can
Valid.
throw.
Valid. Just had a conversation about this.
Could I
Yep.
while she's yeeting,
Yep.
could I make my best effort to clean out his pockets so he's
Yeah.
not identifiable?
I will say you can shake him down first. Yep. He does. Well, just tell me when you got it there, Abaddon.
That is 8 with a crit. Oh, and it's a messy crit. It's a messy crit.
Yes, you definitely get his everything out of him. Anything that is like clearly easily identifiable, you take off of his person. And we agreed that it was Eli that was driving, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that you guys coordinate, that you sort of like power into a turn type thing, and Abaddon sort of like rears up at the side, and you get excellent elevation out of this guy. In fact, you managed to put him through the branches of a tree to just sort of like bust him up a little bit on the way. But again, you see, despite her petite form, I mean, she throws a full ground 180-pound man like he's nothing. And he arcs high with a minimal splash, like a professional diver. As far as you know, even unless anybody was looking right at it when it happened, probably no one's going to notice. I'll even say with 8 successes with that many, you have it's like something heavy you tie to him. Like, do you want to like the spare tire, maybe the jack, like I mean something to weight him, because that is significant success. It's part of your body disposal.
Can you teach
Yeah.
me to do that?
Oh, well,
That
I
was-
could. Are you particularly, are you very strong, Esther?
Yeah, I mean, I'm strong. Can't you see I work out? I mean, come on.
Oh, yes, but if there's one thing that I've learned in this life, it's that looks can be deceiving when it comes to those things. So I never want to assume. Some people are very swole and still not as strong as some of the tinier people that I've come to see, such as myself. So I never want to assume. But yes, I
I
can
am
teach that.
swole. If I'm super swole.
Mm.
Just
I see. I'll teach you how to do that if you teach me how to do this.
yes, yeah. We'll cover it. We'll cover it. Now's probably not.
Deal.
Time.
I feel like when you're like, now's not the time, give me your dex and firearms, Hugo.
Oh God.
Like, this isn't the time to be discussing such things. Pow!
I want it to be noted that when I snapped his neck, I still had the gun in my hand, like on my ring finger, like awkwardly just.
That's the advantage of those extra fingers, man. Yeah. I feel like Hugo does some weird like over the top thing when you're pulling the trigger of the gun.
Yeah. Yeah, he wears pistols like big giant gaudy rings. So let me find this. Right. I'm
Dex
sorry
and
for the-
firearms.
Well, I
yeah.
have nothing in
Pistols
firearms
as knuckle
anymore because I
weapons.
figured I forgot how to do it. So I'm just gonna do Dex.
I like where this is headed. Yes.
Yeah.
Since
And it
I'm
has to be
supposed
6 or
teaching
above?
him, can I assist in any way? I do have some firearm proficiency.
Ooh, I got 2.
And well, I'm gonna say that Dimitri, while you're showing him what to do, and Esther and Avedon are having their moment about, now's not the time. Pow! Like the flash of the firearm goes off, goes out the door. You don't shoot the vehicle, but definitely the weapon discharges while you're driving. This thing, Hugo, works completely different than the musket you're used to, and it bits you. The freaking slide, jump back, and scratch your hand. It's just
Oh, this gun's mean.
Yes,
Dimitri,
you know,
I thought you were handling that.
well, I was distracted by the killing, that type of thing. It gets to me. I will take the fault for that, and I'm gonna.
I don't want this thing. This thing's
Slowly.
very small. I would like maybe something more musket sized next time.
I'm
Well,
gonna take the revolver from Hugo and wad it into a ball, and then roll the window and toss it.
also, I forgot that you did say you gave him a revolver. It doesn't bite you. That slides on 9mm. I apologize, internet. But
Yeah, I
yes,
was gonna say, but
Yeah.
fine.
It's true. It's true. I appreciate
How
it.
do they deal with all the choices on those guns? There's 6. I don't know what to do with that. That's a lot.
It's okay. These get the job done just as well.
Why are we littering so much tonight?
Can I look? Has anybody noticed? We literally launched a body like a rocket and fired a gun.
No, a lot has happened. Yeah, and then like, this is like the Mafia Night pleasure pack going on here. You eat the body, then the gun goes off, then you eat the gun. Yeah, you can
Then
give
you
me
take
your
cannoli.
Is it
true.
Saturday?
Leave the guns. Take the cannoli. Yes,
I'm hungry
exactly. AKA another Friday in New York. As you speed along, Eli, no, you definitely kind of drop it after that. But as far as you can tell, no one does anything. No one reacts to you. To like, no blue lights come on. Like, there's no cars don't screech. Just you speed along, and you do soon find yourself paralleling Central Park, which is a beautiful and iconic strip of untouched land all in the middle of New York City. A lot of people don't realize is there are several different areas inside of Central Park, including there's a lake, there's like shops, paths, all sorts of amazing things. And you all are still on the side of Central Park that should have been under Gigolo's control, as far as you know. As you are heading your way uptown, you realize you will arrive in mere minutes. But if what Seth told you was true, and the Second Inquisition is already there, what is your plan?
Eli, we might want to be a little sneaky when we go in. Maybe on foot, not out of a car.
I will defer to what the group wants to do. Of course, I'm gonna pull over at this point while we discuss it, though. Just find a place to kind of.
I don't know. I've been
parallel.
like refreshing my sister's Twitter this entire time, and there's nothing from her, which could be good, it could be bad. I don't know. I
Perhaps
don't
you
know.
could. Or how close are we? Like, is your? Can you see your house from here? Where? Like.
Yeah, it's right there. Just 3 blocks down on the corner.
What does
Alright.
your house look like, Cherry?
So my family is in the penthouse suite of an apartment building just on the corner of 79th and Central Park West. So it overlooks all of Central Park. So this is one of those types of things where you come in through the lobby and there's a doorman and you get onto the elevator and we have a special key that takes you straight up to the top and the doors just open onto our apartment.
Knowing that we can see it from here, can we look and make sure that nobody's like we don't have like now that we're in a visible place, make sure I don't see red dots showing up on our Nosferatu.
And
Well,
also, Abaddon would like to activate Eyes of Oblivion to have a look around.
all right, you can all give me your wits and awareness.
Whoa, what the?
I like where this is headed. That's the reaction that I live for. That is 4 from Dimitri. Okay. 4 from Esther. 6 for crit or no crit there.
One of those was a crit.
Okay.
I just rolled 4 9s.
All
I
right.
have
So that,
4.
well, all right, it's 4 successes though. No, you're appropriately motivated.
I've just never seen that.
Also,
Yes, Abaddon.
also 4.
Okay. As you all are looking, again, the coast is clear, although this is a very alien landscape to most of you, all for different reasons. Again, this is a very lavish upper crust area of town that Eli and Esther definitely don't frequent. Abaddon probably doesn't. I'll leave it up to you if your business has brought you up here. Same with you, Eli. Some of the bosses may or may not live in accoutrement like this, but for the most part, this is not your normal stomping grounds. And believe it or not, for you, Hugo, some of this is strangely familiar because even though there is definitely new multi-billion-dollar construction around here, it is dotted by museums and also churches and older structures, some of which have been here since the 1800s. So there actually are tiny little snippets of the world you remember dotted in between these neo-futuristic towers that stretch almost as high as you can see.
I've been here before. I think maybe once.
Yeah,
that's
everyone's
from-
been here before. This is where the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is. Like,
Oh,
That's
literally
not
every-
his scene. Cherry.
that sounds very important. Who's Macy?
He gets whole parade every year.
Oh boy.
Like, oh, parade of all people named Macy. That's
No, it's in the honor of the man named Macy.
oh, okay. That makes sense. He must have been some great hero.
He created monuments all across the land with big red star, much like Mother Russia.
I think I remember when that church was built, and I didn't know about a lot of things then too. I don't feel like I ever know anything.
Hugo, we will watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, but we have a few months before that happens. I just need to know how we get up there without putting ourselves at risk.
Cherry, as you're looking, again, to the rest of you, this all seems to be in order. But as you look, Cherry, especially with those 6 successes, that's not your doorman. And at the building across the street, there's 2 doormen. There's usually only one. Now there's 2, and those aren't the regular guys either. They're wearing the outfit. They're still, hailing cabs, moving luggage, doing everything. But like, you're like, I don't know those dudes.
Yeah, okay, something is wrong. That's not Jonas. I'm not freaking out, but I'm very close to it.
How
Perhaps
tall is the building?
That's what I was about to ask.
About 30 flights, 30 stories.
Okay, very tall. Okay.
Maybe
Do you want
we might want to get a couple people up top if anybody wants to come with me.
All right, what were you saying there, Avedon?
also, if you'd like me to distract any of them, I can do that.
Is there a fire escape or anything that's visible from where we're at?
I would say, with most of the luxury construction, there are not external fire escapes on those things.
Yeah, it'd be like in the back alley.
Yep, it is just a beautiful tower.
And nothing that looks like I could get a good handhold on it.
If you were trying to scale it, yes, probably. Yeah, it is not complete and total glass. It's like there are like ledges where there are like squares that have each individual window popping out, and then it's like once you get up to about the 10th story, it shrinks in and then goes up and is almost like a tower on top of a tower, essentially.
Does it look like it would be something I could do relatively stealthily? Or am I going to be like slapping people's dining room windows?
You definitely would be slapping windows. One of the joys of modern technology is I can just send you all a picture of what I intend there, even though I can't turn my laptop around and just show it to you. There you go. I've sent you all a picture of the building. So yes, it would, you could probably climb it, but there is definitely a chance at literally every single window someone might notice.
Cherry, you say these are not your doormen. Is this correct?
Correct. Yes. Yes. They are not the right guys.
Eli, tactically, what do you think? Do we go in the front door? Neutralize the assist?
Oh. I don't suppose any of you can tell how many are actually in there, can you?
Well, there's one right there.
Again, I would, if possible, I mean, Cherry, there is no other entrance that's going to be connected that maybe most people wouldn't know about, is there?
Like a garage entrance or
Yeah, there's the freight
servant.
entrance. Like where the maid comes in, but
Well then, perhaps we take a look there first, just before we go storming in the front gate then.
I'm still a bit curious as to why all of a sudden there's more security agents outside your house that you're not aware of. If you all would like to sneak, that's fine, but I still might just go straight through the front and see if I can't seduce a little information out of their brains.
I can be very seductive too. I can go in the front.
Oh, I have to see this.
This is not my forte. I believe I'm with Eli. I think I take the servant entrance.
Back door again.
What do you mean by these?
Dimitri's secret back door. Yep.
I do not. Eli, are they playing trick on me? I do
Yeah,
not
don't
like to
worry
have
about it.
trick played on me.
Let's go. I'm going to try and pull him along. If anybody else wants to come, let's go.
So to be clear, Eli and Dimitri are going on foot down into the parking deck where they can get to the sort of the freight elevator, the servants' entrance. Avedon, Esther, Hugo, and presumably Cherry. Although Cherry, are you going through the front?
I'm going through the front.
Okay. So again, to be clear, there is one man on your door that you don't know. In the building across the street, 2 men you do not know.
Correct.
Over there.
And I would just before I leave and do something dumb, we do know at least the number looking. We know where which place is actually hers. before we go
yeah,
off and we're like,
the
shit,
penthouse.
where are we?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
I will say that just for the sake of ease, there is an elevator access code that Cherry can turn over to you, so you don't get to the elevator and are stuck. Um, yeah, definitely. All right, so presumably you wait a few moments to like let them get ahead, and then as you all approach the front door, the doorman turns and looks at all of you and says, "Oh, hello. How are you all this evening?"
Hi. We're just coming here to meet up with a friend of ours. Apparently you're new since you don't recognize us.
Oh yes, first day on the job. I apologize. My name is Smitty. What's your name? And he extends a hand to you.
Susan. There's some reason why all of a sudden at my friend's gorgeous building there's all of this security. Is there something we should know about? Something going on in New York? Oh, is the president in town?
Oh, whew, that is quite a grip, ma'am. Oh, which one of you lives here?
I live here, and I very much want to know what you have done with the normal doorman.
Jonas? Oh no, we haven't done anything to him. Believe it or not, this is crazy. He won the lottery. Quick pick over at the bodega. 10 grand. Just like that. Lucky bastards on a vacation in Hawaii.
That seems really strange, considering the fact that I know that Jonas and I have had the conversation multiple times about whether he would buy a lottery ticket, and he definitely said that he didn't think it was worth it.
Well, some people call him a stupidity tax, but hey, you can't win if you don't play, right? That Hugo, how is Hugo walking into this place? Like, what is Hugo wearing?
Wait, like what he's faking that he's wearing?
Do you have your Mask of 1,000 Faces up?
Yeah, I'm trying to look like
Okay.
a UPS driver or some shit.
Got it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what people do. I don't know. I look like
No,
the president.
yeah. Well, no, that is
Like,
the point of Mask of 1,000 Faces. Is you can be anybody. You know, like
Yeah.
people look right at you, and it's like it's a dude, and then you know, you just look completely unremarkable.
I get very anxious when people talk for a long amount of time where it makes me tense and I'm feeling tense. So yeah, I just look very neutral. What Hugo's actually wearing is like just all black clothes that are so torn and shredded you can kind of see tattoos underneath it, but not quite what the tattoos actually are.
Got it. Yes, but as long as you don't look like full blown Nosferatu. Got it.
Only on the inside.
Only on the. I mean, who among us doesn't, right? And this man turns and looks at you, Esther, and he says, "Hey, aren't you some sort of artist?"
Yes. Actually, I'm gonna glance around the lobby. Is there anything that looks familiar art-wise in this super ritzy apartment building?
Hang on just 1 second here. Yes, I mean down here it is. I don't know, Cherry. You know, your parents are assholes. Do they have a more modern aesthetic, or is this more chandeliers and
This is definitely like chandeliers and art that is too pretentious for its own good.
I do a lot of photography just like this, actually.
He's like, "Oh, wow. Oh my goodness. Well, you know, I apologize. If I've inconvenienced you people, please come right in. Can I get the elevator for you?"
Yes.
He turns and he starts walking inside the place. He walks over to the elevator and he pushes the button, and then he just turns around and stands there smiling at you.
As we walk to the elevator, I just look at him and I say, "Oh, so just quick question. When Jonas won the lottery, did he pay off his daughter's tuition?"
You know, I don't know. That seems like that definitely would have been the better thing to do, but I'm not sure if he did or not.
And I just look at Avedon and I'm like, yeah, Jonas did not have any kids.
Has the elevator come down yet?
Avedon, give me your wits and awareness in particular.
I'm gonna burn a willpower. It's 5 successes.
Across the street, Avedon, as Cherry says this to you, you turn and look again back at the two men that are across the street, watching the place, and you see they're both looking your direction, and someone has walked up behind them, and is a third person, a woman, is talking to them both, and they're all looking across the street. You've seen that woman before. You've seen her in the cathedral a few times now that you see her face.
I will. Who's closest to me? I assume Cherry's closest to me since she just leaned in and said, kind of gave me the eyes about that. I will do the same. I will make eyes over towards them and kind of like do that thing to like look that way without saying anything. But my question still stands: has the elevator arrived yet?
It has not. Hang on, May. I'm actually going to ask you a quick question here. This is relevant to what's going to happen next.
Secrets.
So guys, Level Up Dice is a fantastic provider.
That is
Tell
true.
me more, Mason.
Purveyor of
all sorts of gaming
fine.
peripherals.
Exactly. Take your game to the next level with Level Up Dice.
Take
Sorry,
your
that
game to the next level.
Oh man.
just I needed one particular detail about something from her. Yep.
Yeah, if the elevator hasn't arrived yet, then after Avedon makes the look over their eyes at Cherry, she's gonna try and sneak away from the group if there's no elevator yet, and head across the street to these people and see what the hell their problem is.
As you see that Avedon looks and sort of kind of like slips that direction, and you guys are like, hey, where are you? The elevator opens and you see your sister standing there, Cherry, with a man you do not recognize standing right behind her. And he says, please, why don't you have a step on in, Miss Thorne? You and all your friends. Let's go have a little talk. And that is actually a good place for us to take an early break, because I had a thing come up that I need to deal with real quickly. So let's do our quick 10. It's a little earlier than usual, I know, but you can still hydrate, use El Baño, and we will come back for, again, silky smooth, uneventful conversation with some hardworking, diligent civil servants, and
What
it's
could
going to
go
be
wrong?
fine. No, it's going to be all good. It's going to be all good. All right, so we'll be back in 10.
Yeah.
Just do the right thing.
You guys,
Go
don't
ahead,
embarrass me,
thank you.
okay? Do not embarrass me, okay?
All right.
I mean, please understand that I'm an
Have we gone?
ass.
Are we
I'm
live yet?
joking.
Have we gone live yet?
We're live.
I'm like before the internet can hear us. You guys
Yeah.
do not embarrass me on here, okay?
All right. We'll do
Too
our best. We're following
late.
the script.
Oh, hey. Oh, hello. Hey. Ha-ha. Oh, I didn't see you there. Yeah, like every one-man show. Although, Diana, let us repeat the announcements and the giveaway and everything, because we might have people join us that don't know what we're
So, for those of you who are just now joining us in chat, thank you so much for showing up. First of all, we have had a lot of fun doing this 4-part series that we've been working so hard on, and we're having so much fun that we've actually decided we're going to extend it, and we're going to be doing 4 more episodes of Anarchs of New York. So we'll be back here next Friday evening to provide more vampy goodness and Hugo hijinks. Also. We do have a giveaway tonight. So we've already hit our sub goal. Thank you guys so much for that. So we'll be giving away we'll be giving away Vampire the Masquerade dice to at least 3 people. However, I have decided that, if we hit it again, why not just make it 7? Because why wouldn't we? So, go ahead and follow and subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot more fun gaming type stuff. So,
And I understand we got rated by that bronze girl. So shout out to a homie. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all of her fans that have joined us. You might be accustomed to seeing Todd and I at odds. Now we're at odds for completely different reasons. He's at odds with the world.
Is it because I'm your god?
I mean, used to be. Then you ran out of power. So I'm going to show you how to pace it. I'm going to show you how to pace it so you can just maintain. Sorry, for those of you that don't know, in the other show, he was my warlock god and he ran out of power. And now my character's very lippy with him because he needs my help.
Super lippy?
Little lippy. It's true. Little lippy. It's fine.
Yeah.
So, that being said, oh no, go ahead, please.
No. It's I can't wait for the movie to come out.
it's like a crappy buddy cop film. Like
it's really weird.
Yeah, but it's like a buddy cop rom-com. There's tension. Yeah.
Will they? Won't they?
Exactly.
They will.
Will they touch
Who are we
bald
kidding?
heads? Will they not?
That's it. It's a lot of streamlined heads there.
There's a market for it.
I've been on the internet. There's an audience.
Cheer for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what it's like.
And full circle.
Also, how'd you know that was the name of the show? You all might have noticed that Melee Damage has not joined us. She's dealing with a migraine. She may or may not jump back in, but that is cool. She is resting. There is literally no pressure. She wanted to come through for you guys. We had to convince her to take a break. So she might come back. She might not. If not, she'll definitely be here next week. So feel better, May, and hopefully we'll see you. And if not, we'll see you next time. Now, that being said, you all were just approached by someone in the elevator of the high rise that clearly had Cherry's young sister there, insisting that you all step inside. But meanwhile, down in the parking deck, Eli and Dimitri are making their way in. This parking deck, as you guys descend, it will say Cherry told you the code to get through the door. There are cameras everywhere, but you don't see any live security, like walking around or patrolling. The cars are an interesting mix of ultra high-end luxury cars, Bentleys, Rolls Royces, Ferraris, and Lamborghinis, and also the vehicles that clearly are driven by the help. Accords, Tauruses, just completely unremarkable beater vehicles, somewhat just like dotted in and out. And despite the fact that this is a sprawling palatial building, the parking deck is actually not that big because not so many people own cars. And so as you are making your way down, what is it that you two intend to do?
Well, can we see the elevator from where we are here, right here?
I would say as you are making your way down, both of you give me your wits and awareness.
I finally have the number memorized for this one.
It is the perception check of this game. It probably is the number one roll. It's definitely the number one roll when I run it.
Let's see. Is that one a critical one here? No, that's very good. So 5.
Only 2.
5 success.
2 for Dimitri, 5 for Eli.
you all, as you're approaching, Cherry basically described to you where the help entrance was, and it is there, as stated. But you all see a man standing there who is wearing a black windbreaker and black jeans, and he is smoking a cigarette, just sort of standing there, trying to look natural. You, Eli, with your 5 successes, clock the fact that he definitely has one of those earpieces in. That was the same that was recovered from the events at the church.
All right. Has he noticed us yet?
He doesn't seem to have.
All right. Well, I'm gonna kind of
He-
pull
he
around the
is
corner.
He is sort of like, head on a swivel, smoking his cigarette. But if he's seen you, nothing has changed in his mannerisms.
All right. I'm gonna pull back around the corner with Dimitri for a second. All right. Well, we got one there. That's where we need to go. How do you want to handle it?
Do you want to go the sneaky route, or you want to do the I don't know how you say here, the drunk man and the baby?
Oh yeah, we could try that for sure. I think maybe acting's not my strong suit, but I'm willing to give anything a shot. I would like to keep the element of surprise as much as we can.
You have your firearm. Do you have the
Of course.
silencer with you?
I would have. I didn't ask Dave, but I would assume that I would have one.
I mean, you're a pro.
Yeah. Okay.
But as a pro, you also know, contrary to what you see,
Yeah,
in
they're
the
not-
movie, the
they're not
silencer
cute.
only makes it so silent. It is not the gentle. It is still a gunshot, and you're still in a parking deck. But yes,
yeah. Then.
you could have that.
Then I'll just kind of lean back. Are there any cameras where they can see what we're doing?
From your casual examination, there's definitely cameras on that door coming and going. You see the cameras, from what you can tell, seem to be largely concentrated around entrances and exits.
Okay. Well, I guess I just kind of want to turn my back to one as best I can, just kind of still facing Dimitri there, and I will go ahead and screw the suppressor onto the front. And if you allow it, maybe I also have subsonic ammo, so it's a little quieter.
Again, you're a pro.
Yeah, so
So you have the proper equipment.
so drop the magazine and kind of load it just inside my jacket there.
And Dimitri, I will also say that even though you yourself kind of eschew the use of firearms, you are familiar with them. And again, despite his quaint old-timey exterior, he's got the best equipment you can have.
Okay. What if we play it like this? There's a car right there, right? Well,
Yeah.
no,
It's
that
a-
makes too
it's
much
a-
noise. Okay. Stay on the off side. Put your armor in me, and we'll start this song. Let's do this. You know
Alright.
the drill. We play it. We get close. Don't use the firearm unless necessary, for I can be quiet as well.
All right, I'll follow your lead then.
So I'm gonna do the quintessential drunken.
Quintessential.
Yeah,
All right.
we're not trying to hide.
Got it. No, your hide out in the open is a tactic I know a thing or two about. All right, give
I have
me
questions.
your. I said what I said. Either give me.
And I'm going to be
Your-
singing it completely out of tune, not matching up with him at all. Maybe
No,
I
you're-
skip into a different song.
You're super leaning into this.
Yeah.
So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let one of you roll, but I'm gonna give you a bonus based on the other one. So first of all, do either of you have any ranks in either performance or subterfuge?
I've got subterfuge.
I have 1 point in subterfuge.
I got 2.
All right. So I will say roll manipulation and subterfuge, Dimitri, but take 2 extra dice from Eli's assisting you with his heartfelt rendition of how dry I am as you guys are stumbling through the parking deck here with a loud comedic hit. Hmm.
That's 6 successes.
Crit or no crit?
No crits.
No, you did. Eli, again, Dimitri's a pretty straight-laced dude here, but when he completely goes into the like it's like he's a different person. And as you guys come over, like the dude does very quickly turn his head towards you, but as you all are putting on this dramatic display, he actually kind of looks away, sort of like, "Ooh, that's embarrassing," type thing, you know. Like, so as you all are approaching, he does kind of step away a little bit and look away a little bit.
He's between us and the elevator. Is this correct?
So he is like standing at the entrance to the elevator. So you would have to get past him to get to the elevator.
And there are cameras on this?
There are. But as you're approaching, he seems to be buying the ruse.
All right, just hit the
Easy.
I forgot to, what's the you push it and then
We go.
and then
We need to go up.
yeah. And so I'm just kind of missing the button a few times before I.
So crazy. You push the button.
You guys all right?
Oh yeah. Okay, I can't. I think it might be broken. We're trying to go up. Do you know if there's if the elevator's broken?
No. No. It. Well, that's the guest entrance, man. Like you guys might want to like bust it around front there. They got a doorman.
Professor.
My wife, she says I cannot come in the front when I eat like this.
Oh, she's a firecracker. You don't want to be. You don't want to get in the. No. We should. Can we just? Can you like turn the button to open the?
Do the thing. Make the other guy lets this all the time. He's fine.
No, there's a keypad over there, man. You just type it in and you just like and you see he very much goes back to like looking into the parking garage and kind of ignoring you two.
I'm gonna get down like way too close and be like, like kind of slowly put him in like with my eye, like trying to make sure my finger goes exactly in the right spot.
Do you remember the numbers? It's the 1.
No, I think it was started with a 3. And
He's like, just Jesus Christ. Okay, wait. He comes over to the thing, like right next to both of you, and he's like, which one are you trying to get into?
30-30.
The Thorn residence.
What level? What level is? Or do we know what floor they're on?
Did you say it's the penthouse? Did we actually say, Cherry? 30th, right? Yeah.
Oh, then
30th.
I want to go like the level below that, or several levels. Maybe let's say 25.
So she did tell you this will open in the place. So if you go to a lower place, you will come out in someone else's home.
Correct. I have an idea. I'm ready.
Good. All right. So you're like 25. Okay.
Yeah.
He's like, all right. All right. Just, all right. Hey, fella. Hey. Yeah. Just type in the code.
Oh yeah. And
Use my thumb. The thumbprint. They work at place.
Oh yeah, here just put.
No, they're not thumbprints. Just okay. Give me the code. Just tell me the code.
Okay, I mean, I'll relate to him, I suppose,
And
as best I can.
Do you attempt to tell it accurately?
I
Okay.
I will attempt to, I suppose.
All right. Well, because you're not really drunk, so
Yeah.
can tell him if you want.
I'll probably backtrack a couple times. Oh, I mean 6. It's like a 9, but upside down.
Hold on, just some drunk dudes. He does very much touch his ear, and he's like, no, just some drunk guys. I'm getting rid of them. Okay, fine, And you do. Boom.
Okay.
The elevator opens. He's like, come on, get out of here. Go.
All right.
You have a great night, friend.
Hey, quit bothering the nice man.
We are comrades now.
Yeah, right. Yeah, hey, be careful. Public intoxication's a crime, all right? Yeah. And
All right. Are there? I assume there are cameras in here now.
yeah, there would be. It would be a safe assumption there's elevator cameras.
I want to kind of like gently slump underneath it, so it would be kind of hopefully just out of sight of where I'm currently.
Kind of crash heavy into the wall there. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Okay. And you're so again, if they're on the 30th floor, what floor are you heading for?
So I do legitimately want to go a few floors lower. I'll tell you my plan, and you can make me roll whatever. But the plan currently, I do want it to stop a few floors down, so they don't expect we're coming. And then I want to pop out the top through like the access hatch or whatever. I want to take the camera out before that happens, but I would like to climb, basically climb the rest of the way.
Okay,
Or
that would
jump.
be the dex and firearms to try and shoot out the camera, and dex and athletics to get up through the escape.
All right. Well, I
Again,
was
this
gonna.
is. Oh, sorry. What? Yeah.
I was gonna soaring leap out the top. I assume.
Oh, that would count.
He's an animal. I assume he'll do something. I don't know what.
This is residential construction, so I mean it is well made, but it's like by no means military grade, so it's it would not be difficult to do. Okay.
1, 2. I got 3 successes.
Yeah, I mean it's a stationary target, and you're point blank. 3's enough to shoot it out.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Although you are aware, anyone that would be monitoring the cameras is aware that like one just went out, and then soaring leap up to the roof.
Yeah, I would think so. I'm just gonna quickly I'd rather be fast at this point. So
yeah,
soaring
no.
leap just up to the floor I
Again,
need to go
this is this is not a cage or anything. Like it is not designed to keep you in. So Dimitri, you see he bang, and then sort of looks and just. Boom! Knocks the roof open and flies through it.
I would have suggested a different course of action, but okay, I follow your lead.
And as you look out, there is an elevator shaft with a ladder that you could start climbing up. As you guys are climbing up, actually, no, the way this is set up, you would be in a completely different elevator shaft. Hugo, Esther, and Cherry, you all step inside the elevator, and you see this rather severe looking woman has a hand on your sister's shoulder, and you can't see her other hand, and she just sort of pulls her into it a little bit, and she's looking at you with wide eyes, but your sister's not crying or anything. She's like just stone-faced looking at you.
I step to her and take my sister's face in my hands.
What the fuck, Cherry?
What happened? Is Dad all right?
And the woman behind says, "We'll talk about all of that as soon as we get inside. Just everybody's gonna be calm and nothing terrible's gonna happen, is it?" And you hear your sister like grunt slightly.
Oh, well, that's comforting. Nothing terrible's gonna happen.
Right? Yeah.
Can you just let her go?
I'm sorry, Miss Thorne. I think we're past that point, don't you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Are you all going to get on the elevator?
I'm already in it.
I'm sorry. Is this the package for? Is this Suite 303? Is this the elevator to go to Suite 303? Is this where I'm supposed to be going?
She looks right at you, but has the blank lack of recognition that you're quite accustomed to, and she's like, no, you might want to catch the next one, man.
Are you sure? This seems like the lift I should be taking.
There's plenty of room. Come on in.
Yes, please. Yeah. And she very much moves towards the corner and pulls your. What's your sister's name, Cherry?
Apple.
Beautiful. Yeah, she sort of like kind of wedges herself in the corner with Apple in front of her. Again, Apple's only about 14, so this woman like clearly stands a head taller than her. But if presumably she's got some sort of weapon in her back, you probably couldn't get to her before she did something terrible.
I squeeze up against the woman who was nice enough to let me on the elevator. I'm just like, excuse me, sorry.
Yes.
Ooh, I'm very claustrophobic.
Okay.
You know, deliveries are, it's a new thing for me, So
It's not going well, is it?
Yeah, no, I'm not the best at this particular job. I'm not gonna lie. That's hurtful. That's mean.
While I'm talking to Hugo, the woman who's holding Apple hostage, very strange phrase to use there.
You're welcome.
Does she look like kindred, or does she look very much alive?
So again, technically, there is no way to know, but you can give me your wits and awareness. Unless
a taste test.
There's a taste test. If you've got the ability to sense the beast, which I don't believe any of you possess, but it exists.
I can tell the difference between Pepsi and Coke.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll the same thing all night long tonight. So.
I mean, but that's better than that bestial fail
I
after
know,
bestial
right?
fail. Trust me,
Yeah.
yeah. Like that. Like there's 3.
I'm good with it.
Esther, you're a student of humanity, especially as a photographer. You do notice some beads of sweat at her temples. And while kindred do have the ability to rouse the blood to falsify aspects of living, like just bring some blood to the skin, make themselves breathe, for the most part, the nuances of things like that is usually reserved for people that are still living. Usually, there's some exceptions, but you would take that to mean this is probably a living, breathing mortal.
I'm gonna, in an effort to sort of make it look like I'm shifting to give Hugo more room, I'm gonna shimmy just a little bit closer to her.
As you start to do that, she does just go, there's plenty of room over there, miss.
Right, he's standing in it.
Is
Believe me.
Why does everyone seem so tense?
Just one of those
presumably-
nights.
Once you got inside, did anyone hit the button on the elevator? Or are you all still just sitting there in the lobby?
I hit the button. I want
Okay.
to get up there.
No, we're just
All right.
hanging out. Don't worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah.
is the new pillow party.
Literally, exactly. Like you don't want to look down and see what's in the bottom of these of this elevator shaft. Yes.
I hate it.
What's your name, lady who let me onto the elevator?
I'm Esther, and I'll hold out my hand.
Right, and who's this person here? I'm like pointing at the woman who's next to Cherry, Cherry's sister.
My name's Apple. I live here.
It's nice. That's a unusual name. Yeah. Who's your friend?
The woman just looks at you and she says, "You should hit a button. You're gonna miss your stop."
Oh, yeah. Sorry. See, as I always get these confused. There's so many numbers, and let's see. Wait, it was 303, but does 303 mean like floor 303, or does that mean apartment 303?
I think apartment 303.
It might be apartment 303, or the funny thing about tracking numbers is I just try to snap her neck.
Okay, so
I'm not a creature of subtlety, okay? I only have it inside of me for so long.
So here's how we're gonna handle this. Cherry, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you have ranks in celerity, correct?
I have ranks in aspects and presence.
I have celerity.
You have celerity. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen.
It's a party now.
Hugo,
Pillow party.
you will get to make your attack on this woman. She will get to react however she reacts. But Esther, being supernaturally fast, Esther, whatever you do will happen before both of them. You very much see Hugo being like, I don't know if but to you, the world's in slow motion, Esther. He's like, and you see her very much tense up. What does Esther do?
I would sort of like to dive for what I'm assuming is her gun hand and body check her into the corner of the elevator.
All right, so give me your strength and brawl, Esther, because you being supernaturally fast will arrive even before Hugo. It's like that scene in Spider-Man when Flash threw the punch and he stepped out of the way and like looked at the fist and looked at Flash and looked at the fist.
I'll bet you
I
can
know
guess
that
what
guy.
I
I'm
rolled.
friends with that guy.
I know that guy too. It's weird. Yeah, it's Joe Manganiello, kids. If you didn't know, Joe Manganiello was Flash.
Joe
in that
Manganiello,
movie. Yeah,
everyone. Archon and Averin. It's the buddy cop film you didn't know you needed.
That's true. That is true. Wait, so then does it turn into like 3 men and a little lady when it's like freely with the 2 of them? Like I don't. We
Yeah,
should
it's not
workshop
wrong.
this. No, but I'm for it. This is the content the internet signed up for. Yes.
Yeah.
How many successes there, Esther? 4.
Still,
Okay.
Still 4.
I mean, but again, it's a good number.
Yeah, I'm not gonna complain.
All right. Actually, Esther, as you see Hugo turn and lunge her direction, you do very much hear click, click
and see her hand tensing up on a gun to very much shoot Apple in the back. But you are able to get there with enough successes that you push her into the wall and discharge the firearm into the floor. So to you, who's standing there, Cherry, all of this is just like instantaneous, like boom, and your sister screams and hits the floor, covering her head. Give me yours. So you very much have your hands basically on her weapon now, Esther, driving her into the wall of the elevator. And Hugo, make your strength and brawl. I appreciate this. Like you're just like Battle Milton. You're like, I'll burn the building down. I don't.
I build your entire. I burn it all down.
You're like, it's my sister.
Sorry. I'll do that again. I rolled to me. All right. I got 5 successes.
So she rolled terribly on both things. So as you start moving,
and I have portent. Sorry.
She exactly. You're like, you foreseeing this moment. She rolls a 1.
I mean, I have potence.
It's wrong game.
This is
Wrong
like
game.
portent.
Yeah. In a way, you definitely see what's going to happen. She absolutely, Esther, you're the only one that is 100% clear on the fact that she had every intention of killing Cherry. But you drove her to the side. Her weapon discharges. Hugo's all over her, and with a loud snap, she collapses to the floor. And
hey, wait a second. I have it on good authority. You're not dead yet, so I guess you made a lot of bad choices up to now, huh? I guess we're going up.
I'm just gonna
Not you.
toss the gun over my shoulder.
Apple very much just sits in the corner shaking Cherry.
It's gonna be okay. We're gonna fix it. Everything's gonna be fine.
Cherry, what the fuck just happened? Like, it was, she had a gun and they just like fucking like murdered this woman.
I know. It's fine. Technically, she's dying. She's still a little bit alive, but she's listen. Look at me, Apple.
She's not used to this, is she?
No, Apple. I'm really trying hard not to freak out, so I really need you not to freak out. Is Dad okay?
Okay, they came in and they put us all in different rooms. Okay, they came in and they started like flashing warrants and shit. Okay, and they said that like you were some kind of like fucking terrorist, and like they started like searching everything, Cherry. And then when they saw that you were down in the lobby, like they grabbed me and she put like a fucking gun in my back. The fuck, and she does stand up and kicks the woman, like. Put the gun in my back. I hope you can still fucking feel this.
Apple, listen, I want to tell you to get out of here, but I honestly think that you are safest with us. But you see the people in this elevator, besides her, stick with one of us, okay? Do not get far away from our sides.
Why don't we just put her in a different apartment for the time being?
Yeah, don't
Do you honestly think any of these apartments are safe right now?
Dead lady.
She reaches down and she picks up the gun and like looks at it and is like, can I keep this?
See, she's got it. She's fine.
Apple, you are 14. You do not get to have a gun.
But there's like people breaking into the house and threatening to shoot me and stuff, okay? I don't have a super powered fucking UPS, dude.
What?
It's good service. I mean,
Can I would love to burst into song and sing her favorite of my ballads from my second album
oh god.
to force her to calm down.
Oh no, not the second album.
Can I try and snap
Damn it.
Cherry's neck?
I'm like off in the distance in the underworld. Seth is like, I love this second album.
It's way overrated.
She's
The
doing
third
this on
album.
her phone?
Yeah.
I'm gonna smash it.
I mean, you know the beat, Cherry. Let me ask you this: are you using all or any of your supernatural powers, or are you just attempting to do what you know calms your system?
Well, so not not really clear on how the skill checks would work in here. I know
Okay.
that I am have the special talent in performance ballads,
Okay.
and also very skilled at manipulation. So just kind of trying to combine those.
A wild Avedon has appeared. Yes. Hello. Welcome back.
Oh, sorry. Is that the amazing melee?
Oh my god.
The
Melee damage?
Yeah, exactly. She's using her ranks and fortitude to power through, which we appreciate. But again, if for some reason the headache comes back and you need to bow out again, zone of safety.
Go
We
chill, no
appreciate
pressure.
you. We appreciate you.
But how many did she kill?
So Cherry, you have ranks and presence. You have the ability known as awe, right? So awe makes you supernaturally appealing. So that means as you activate this to captivate your sister, Esther and Hugo, you are aware of this. You feel these glowing waves of warmth coming off of Cherry, which again, your sister as a mortal is defenseless against and very much looks right at you. So you will be able to add your presence dice to this roll. Do you have the looks merit? I think you do, but I don't recall exactly.
I do.
Okay. Do you have the 2 or 4?
2.
Okay. I believe that is 1 extra die. May, I know you were the resident expert on the looks merit. The 2 points is 1 die, isn't it? And 4 dice is 2.
Yeah, that's correct.
So you will get 1 extra die because this is a social roll and your looks do affect it. And because of your specialty, you will get an extra die. So you're going to roll your charisma or your manipulation plus performance and add 4 dice.
Oh shit.
Yep.
I don't
2
have-
because of your awe, 1 because of your specialty, 1 because of your looks. You are very good at this sort of thing.
Okay, here we go. It's literally all the dice on my table.
That is the most first world of first world problems that I was like, I don't have enough dice.
Oh no.
Oh well, I've got more. They're just not ready.
I know what can help with that, actually.
It's true. Level Up Dice
I have
provides a number,
solution.
right? A number of dice that you can take your game to the next level. Yeah.
What is the level up dice motto?
Not that.
Hey, but we're workshopping it. We're helping you here. Yes.
That is 8 successes.
Crit or no crit?
No crits in there.
You, Hugo and Esther. Hugo, you really have no point of reference. You've only known Esther a few short hours, or known. Well, yes, only known Esther, but also only known Cherry a few short hours. Esther, you are familiar with this girl. Everybody's like, oh, she's this like kind of teeny bopper, like whatever, who cares? But she opens her mouth and it's angelic. She's really, really good. And you do see Apple visibly, the tension sort of sinks out of her shoulders, and she just begins bawling and just like hugging you. Like, I was so scared.
I know.
And she is just like squeezing you as tight as you really can't remember the last time she hugged you like this, honestly.
I am like on the floor of the elevator with her in my arms and wiping away tears and trying hard to like keep it together for her. And I look up at Hugo and I say, "You do not let anyone up there hurt her. Please."
Okay, I can do that. What's your name? Apple?
Apple.
Apple, you're gonna be fine. Because the monsters are gonna protect you.
I'm gonna hand her the gun.
She is just shoulder heaving, sobbing, and very much takes it there. Meanwhile, across the street, as ever you, Avedon, barely notice that they step into the elevator because you sort of like look like the heck and go. It takes a moment to kind of make your way across traffic, but you notice as you approach the 3 of them, one of the doormen on the other side of the street sort of peels off and moves back towards the door. And the other 2 just kind of stand there. As you approach, there is a man, and the woman is who you recognize from the cathedral.
I walk up to the woman. I say, "You look familiar."
Oh, I just have that sort of face.
Hmm. Yeah. See, usually when, believe me when I say that sounds more suspicious than you would think it would. I know you're trying to like make that not suspicious, but that's more suspicious. Um, see, here's the thing. You come around the cathedral a lot, right?
I have visited a number of houses of worship in the area. Yeah.
Can I speak to you privately for a moment?
When she says that, you see the doorman that stayed there kind of tenses a little, and she puts a hand on his shoulder and she takes a step towards you, Avedon, very much in your bubble. And she says, I would like nothing more than a private conversation with you, but I don't think you'd like how it goes.
Hmm. Well, that's a risk I'm willing to take.
She doesn't take her eyes off of you, and she's like, I realize you may not understand these words, but there are a lot of innocent people in these buildings that are under my protection.
Yes.
Now,
Say.
if you would like to step back across the street, maybe we could make our way up to the Thorn residence and we can all just have a nice long chat. Hmm? Or maybe we can go back over to your church, have a word with Brother Kyle, Sister Megan, that reclusive vicar who's supposed to run the place, but that no one ever sees. Hmm?
Hmm. Oh, you poor misguided thing. Well, um, I will humor you. Yes. Let us go back upstairs and join the rest of the group. Will your two other friends here be joining?
Just give me 1 second. Hang on. And she pulls a phone out. And again, she never takes her eyes off you. She just types it with one hand. And she holds it up and she's like, if I don't report back in a half an hour, burn that church to the ground.
Before she gets a chance for the call to go through, I'd like to touch it and see if my bane can't just
see if you can Lasombra it out.
Yeah. What do I roll for that?
Rolls La Sombra.
Yeah, like rolling Lasombra. That's true. I'm like, it's funny. All these times your Lasombra powers have come unbidden. I don't know what to make it be to do a thing. Let's say, do you have any ranks in occult?
I do.
Give me your wits in occult. It just so happens, for reasons that have not been completely revealed, you are particularly religious. That's why I'm going to let this see if this goes.
That is, that's another messy crit. 6.
She goes to dial and she says, if I don't report back in, and you lunge out and touch it, but you do touch it, but you knock it out of her hand and it hits the ground and shatters.
And I go, oh, my apologies. I saw a bee.
I am going to enjoy this. You two stay here. You know what to do. After you, ma'am.
I will walk side by side with her. I won't walk in front of her. I won't turn my back on her.
As you guys are walking back across the street, she's like, look at you. You look so lifelike, so hot. That's incredible. And yet, it is a lie.
You speak very much of things you know very little about.
I'm looking forward to learning.
I have no doubt you're going to learn something.
As you all walk back into the lobby, and now you're there at that same bank of elevators and hits the button. She looks at you and she just says, "You think we're all sheep? You think you're just the biggest, baddest, meanest thing that God ever forsook, don't you? You're not."
Quite the opposite, dear.
Hmm.
We're
And,
the hands of justice.
and she very much just like stands there by the elevator. Like both of you are like, "Oh, bitch, as soon as we get in this elevator." Oh, it's like tick, 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 tick. Meanwhile, those of you in the elevator shaft, Dimitri and Eli, you have arrived.
I was gonna say on the way up before we like.
Oh, yes,
get
yes,
there,
yes, yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Just like a quick powwow as I kind of like grab
course.
onto the side of the shaft. All right, so they should be looking hopefully at the people coming in the front. I'm guessing they're still gonna have a person or two back here. Let's try and not kill both of them. We want to find out how many people we're up against and where they're keeping her family. All right. All right. I just kind of nod and then I take another jump, land at the top.
Yes, you go bounding up. Again, there is a very small lip at the edge of the elevator there for the 30th floor. It is easy to open from this side because, again, it's supposed to be designed for firefighters to have to get in here in an emergency, so it is not difficult. I will say, you can both give me your wits and awareness, but subtract 2 dice to basically try and look through that thin pencil line of light in the door there to see if you can see anything before you crack it open.
All right. That's 4. Yeah, 4 successes on my end.
Just 2.
All right. As you all sort of like ease in and peer through, you see 4 successes, you say?
Correct.
From where you are, you see 2 men sort of pacing around. Both of them are holding small MP5 machine guns, sort of walking. And at the far end of this, palatial penthouse, you can see an older woman that looks just like Cherry. Honestly, just like Cherry, sitting, having had the resources to sort of maintain the look, arguably inappropriately so. Very much sitting like nervously on a couch at the far end. You see no sign of any man that you would think would be her father's age, though.
Okay.
She's just sort of like wringing her hands. Again, she's the far end of this, 10,000 square foot penthouse.
Okay, that was okay. Pretty far then. But there's only 2 people close.
From where you can see, you just see the 2.
And this is the staff elevator, so it's not. It's opening in the back of the penthouse, I presume.
Exactly. Yes.
And their focus is not on us.
The domestics are not supposed to go unseen. Yes.
All right, well, I see 2 there, and I think that's her mom at the end down there.
I would make that assumption.
All right, how you want to do this?
I go left, you go right.
All right, sounds good. So I guess we'll get on either side and kind of pull it open. As soon as it pops open, I'm gonna use celerity to dive off towards the right there.
And I will.
You all, all right. You all come in, as quietly as you can, sort of force this open, and you see one of the men turns your direction, but right when he does, you hear boom of the elevator, and they both look the other way. So you 2 slip inside as the doors open up, and Cherry, it's home. As you look inside, you also see to your left 2 men that are heavily armed, and you see straight ahead 2 others, and you also see no sign of your father. But when you turn and look over at your mom as you're still hugging Apple, you see like her eyes light up just sort of a split second, but she doesn't say anything. She's like, and sits there sort of wringing her hands. And you see a moment later, you hear a man that says, Miss Thorne, please, please, please join us. He is wearing a suit, not completely, but just a total G-Man suit. Black suit, white shirt, black tie, polished black shoes, comb over hair, horn rim glasses. He is not visibly armed or anything. He is just standing there holding a file. And he's like, please, please. And he looks over at the body of the woman on the floor and says, that is unfortunate, but not unexpected. Don't worry, we'll get that cleaned up. Come on in.
Well, it's not every day I get invited into my own home, so thank you for that. Really.
I apologize for this show of force here, but I assure you, if we just wanted you dead, we'd have opened fire the moment the doors of the elevator opened. If you would, once you vacate the elevator, I'll have someone take care of that. Cherry, give me your wits and awareness. Yes, yours. Actually, the rest of you can. It's just there's something particular I'm looking to see if Cherry notices. In fact, actually, all of you can give me wits and awareness to see what you detect in this place.
4.
As you sort of like swivel your head there, Cherry, you see the staff elevator is open. It is like just a crack, but you know that was the plan. You figure they probably have made it in.
Okay.
5, Eli. How many for Dimitri?
1.
Again, Dimitri, you're just on the move, man on a mission, man. Eli, you clock the fact that Hugo, Cherry, a young girl, and Esther have come off the elevator. You don't know where Avedon is. You do not see her. Yes.
I have
Esther.
not come off the elevator.
Oh, okay. You stay on the elevator?
I'm sort of standing in the doorway, just waiting, and I'll kind of and give Cherry a knowing glance.
Mm-hmm. Cherry, again, with that many successes, you noticed all of this.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And how many strangers are in my apartment that I see? Just this man?
At this exact moment, you can see 5 total. Okay. 2 armed guys towards your left in the direction of the servants' elevator. 2 armed guys that were basically straight ahead that wouldn't have been visible from the servant elevator, and this man in the suit. And you have no sign of your father.
Well, if I'm guessing correctly, that these shows of force that you've been displaying aren't totally necessary. I mean, whatever beef you have with my family, I'm sure we can work it out. Let's just get the patriarch in here. Where's Dad?
Oh, Cherry. I am afraid that Mr. Winston Thorne is currently otherwise occupied and is probably going to be occupied for 25 to life. Your dad has been a bad, bad boy. And he sort of shakes the file. And he's like, it would be really terrible if some of these things were to come to light.
But they're not. They're not going to come to light.
I suppose that is up to you, isn't it?
What do you want?
Oh, what do I want? Ooh, what do I want? That is an existential question. You know, I've been dealing with a lot of existential questions lately, believe it or not. I recently found out monsters are real. Didn't know that. All sorts of terrible things right under our noses. Had no idea. Did you know? He just looks at one of the guys with the machine guns, but his face is just like completely blank, looking like just waiting for the kill command, basically. Like, just vampires and werewolves, God knows what else out there. I just thought all I had to worry about was muggers and crackheads. Turns out there's immortal monsters. And the weirdest thing about all of it? He draws his gun and shoots you, Cherry. Pow! Right in the stomach. For 4 superficial damage, which is incredibly painful, but not fatal. And he's like, bullets don't kill him. How fucked up is that? Speaking of fucked up, meanwhile, down in all of you in the house hear the gun discharge. So even you, Dimitri, are aware that it's going down now. But in the lobby, the elevator opens up and this woman turns square on to you and steps in while she's still facing you. And she's like, we wait until the top, or are we doing it right here?
Avedon takes a step into the elevator and pulls a throwing knife out of her lapel and just chucks it at the security camera.
She goes, thorough. I like it. And you see from her, on her waist, in a holster that you didn't quite notice, she pulls out a karambit, which again is the curved knife with a finger loop on one end, and like hooks it on. And she's like, I gotta tell you, I've really been looking forward to this.
Well, good luck with that when you can't see, bitch. And I dropped Stygian Shroud.
Yep, I thought you might. Yep, okay. Your Stygian Shroud goes off, and you do not feel her choking and dying, though. In fact, she lunges straight towards you with... beautiful. Perfect. Okay. She lunges straight towards you with that knife, Avedon. And either give me your you don't have any bladed weapons, right? Or do you?
Oh, I do. Mm-hmm.
You can give me your dex and athletics to just try and get out of her way, or your dex and melee to try and counter with your own blade.
If I could, can I try and counter to grab her wrist to get my hand on her?
That would be strength and brawl instead. Yep.
Okay.
You can, since you can see in this and she can't, you can definitely tell Avedon, like as she's when you drop the Stygian Shroud, she actually closes her eyes and she's like fighting like this. So it's, it is not that she is immune, it's that she's like basically somehow still able to fight her way through this, basically.
So I assume that my specialty for grappling works here.
That would apply.
And do I include my potence or no?
If you rouse for prowess, no, that is just in your damage, not in your attempt to actually stop her with it.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to burn a willpower.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 successes.
You go to grab her wrist, and you see at the last second she flips the knife around and slashes across your wrist with it, and it burns, Avedon. It does 2 aggravated damage, and you feel it bite you all the way down to the bone. Like, you don't know what this knife is made out of, but it hurts a lot. And in the darkness, you see when she feels it bite into you, she smiles. She doesn't say anything, but in her eyes are still closed. She's like,
I'm going to activate the arms of Ahriman.
mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try and snatch her up.
All right. Roll that.
I have rolled awfully tonight, which is good for you guys, but not good for your opposition.
That is. Oh yeah, that is. It's another messy crit.
Okay.
7 with a messy.
You very much like as she lunges forward, like the darkness comes to life and like wraps her up in it. Like you have her completely in the arms.
I just squeeze very, very tightly, and I bring her not so close that she can get a grip of me, but close enough that I can shout through the Stygian. This is what you get when you fuck with the angels of death.
Yes, you are squeezing and breaking, and she's like her teeth are gritted, and she opens her mouth like she's gonna say something, but she doesn't, because you can hear through the Stygian shroud. She doesn't say it. She's like she's going to, but you're like. Meanwhile, up in the penthouse, Cherry shot, bang. Yeah. Again, it is incredibly painful, but not lethal. But when she gets shot, yes, what do you do?
I have a question.
Yes.
Is there a limit to how often we can activate or use our disciplines?
Nope. The ones that do not require rouses, you can do as much as you want. The ones that do require rouse checks, you still can do as much as you want. But if your hunger builds past a certain point, other unintended consequences can start kicking in.
Okay. So, I, like, say when I'm shot, I fall to the floor. Mm-hmm. Do Apple and my mom react?
Oh, yeah. You know, like, screaming, diving. Apple very much like rushes to your side because to her you just got shot. Yeah. You also realize, just as an aside, he's an incredible shot because she was right there and he hit you and not her.
I sort of shove her aside. Mm-hmm. I stand up, throw a glance to Esther. You're not in the room, right?
She's like right behind you in the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So a glance, like a sweeping glance to catch your eyes, Hugo's eyes, and then I don't see Dimitri.
I would say you do see Eli. Since you guys had enough successes that you knew each other were there, I will say you catch Eli essentially kind of around the corner, but you don't see Dimitri.
As I recover from the sort of punch, the impact of the gunshot, throw the sweeping glance around. Stand up, look at the man in the suit. And I say, you know what? I really look better without my shirt on anyway. And I just take the gunshot-riddled shirt off and toss it to the ground and start walking toward him. And I want to use my awe to try to distract the men in the room as I, like, sultrily step toward him and say, I know what you're really after.
Mortals are defenseless. And while this is definitely a bizarre flex, you can still roll. It actually would be the same pool that you rolled before. I guess minus 1 die because that particular specialty wouldn't apply anymore. But all the rest of it, your presence, looks, manipulation, persuasion, or subterfuge, whichever. I guess this would be subterfuge.
Eli has tilted his hat in such a way to try and block her form.
He's blushing so hard right now.
It's true.
So that's a messy critical for a total of 9 successes.
Damn.
You see the 4 guys with the machine guns, their jaws literally drop. They literally, because you're supernaturally persuasive, they literally are like, he looks at you and hold on just 1 second, double check something.
Can I ask a question while you're rolling
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So my spark of rage.
Yes.
Do I choose targets for that, or is it just area of effect?
Let me double check. I believe you choose, but again, that is a power that I myself do not possess. So let me look at it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I personally can angry people up, but that is all the mortals around. Oh, actually, incite a person or a crowd, so you can choose.
Does it have to be a single person, or could I choose, say, two people?
Yes, you could choose any of the mortals. You could choose any of your fellow kindred. You could do any of that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll let you finish, and then I want to do a thing.
The four humans, the tactical guys are again literally slack jawed. He just sort of like smirks and looks at you for a second, and he says, "That's not how I saw this going, but okay."
I get very Princess Jasmine on Jafar up in his face, and I'm like, well, we don't need to use guns to have this discussion, do we?
Y'all, this is literally the worst I've ever rolled ever. He just looks at you and he's like, I suppose not. And he does reholster his weapon.
Could I?
Please.
Yes.
Yeah, like I'm.
Everybody's like, and death.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I would like to spark of rage everyone on our side.
You want everybody else to go a little crazy, huh?
I want, the mom, the sister, Eli, Dimitri, Hugo. I want all of them to go nuts.
So, to be clear, what this will do, just to make sure that you know, is you will incite frenzies. They will have a chance to resist it. If they don't resist, they will go into a frenzied state, which may be good or bad, really. The humans will fight like animals. Your fellow kindred also will fight like animals. It's not necessarily all positive.
Will they forget the goal, like why we're here?
Oh yeah, no, you will like freak them out. Yes, they will fight better, but they will. Let me rephrase. You know how I always joke about those bestial failures that are bad for you but good for me?
Yeah.
You're making that happen.
Have you seen Event Horizon?
Yeah.
Barate makes Infinus.
All right, I'm gonna hold that thought unless someone else throw the first punch then, and then I'll do it.
It is. I will just say it's not like Rage in D&D where it's like it's only good, where you're like, woo,
Oh
I'm a
no,
barbarian.
I assumed that this would be
Right.
filthy. Like I assumed this would be a
Right.
mess.
Yeah, I'm not saying don't do it. I just want you to know that what you're doing.
I'm gonna make sure
Yes.
Cherry doesn't, die first. She is all up on Mob Boss.
Right.
So,
Right.
Right.
Yes, Eli.
Yeah. So how far away am I at this point?
So between you, there's the two armed men, which again are very much still slack-jawed. And then you actually don't have eyes on the suited man. They were around the corner. So from your point of view, and yours too, Dimitri, I will say by now you peeked and looked. Cherry very much got shot and then just walked out of your frame. So you can see the two armed men. You can see Hugo.
Shirtless, by the way.
Shirtless, yes. That is an important detail. You can see Hugo. You can see the mom, Esther. I guess, Esther, you'd said you came to the entrance of the elevator. So you can also see Esther.
Do vampires not need support? Is she at least wearing a bra? Like, what's going on? You're confusing me.
Oh, no, there's nothing.
Okay, that's what I was just... Okay.
She's given the full cherry.
Yeah, he's very hard.
Full Cherry.
Very hard.
Again.
Full chair.
Off in the underworld, Seth is like, meow. That's where rapes come from. He's going to haunt the shit out of the like
He's the
riverfront.
real protagonist here. Poor
That is
Seth.
true. Yeah.
Then in that case, I mean, if I can see Dimitri over there, I'm gonna go ahead and celerity on up to this guy, specifically kind of grab his earpiece and his mouth at the same time, kind of crush that.
Yeah.
And I want to see if I can pull him into a room like kind of like just restrain him and pull him into a room.
He is super not looking. He is supernaturally
Okay.
supernaturally caught, like so much so that as Cherry sort of walked out of your frame, he kind of
Okay.
came forward a little bit, like
Yeah.
doing one of those. Yeah, he is supernaturally occupied. What is Dimitri doing during this?
As I'm dashing towards the gentleman on the left, I'm going to activate my lethal body.
Mm-hmm.
And my goal here is to just grab him.
I believe it was Cherry that activated the lethal body there, which you were just referring to, Esther. Yes.
And he's lethal in very different way.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is to bear hug like the Russian bear and just squeeze him until he is no longer leaving.
So you guys are so both of you give me your strength and brawl. Hugo, what are you doing, having witnessed this full exchange?
Did Cherry have any exit wounds?
She's small, and he's got a large caliber weapon. I would say, yeah. It was a through and through.
Woof. I'm spending a willpower.
Okay.
So I'm picking up one of the bullets that came out.
I would say it's embedded in the wall of the elevator. You could recover the slug.
All right. Can I get to this main character, this man in black?
Yeah, absolutely. He's only 20-ish feet ahead, and he's very much eyes on Cherry.
I just move, actually, in the most seductive way I can possibly move. I don't know if you've ever seen Queen of the Damned, but I tear my shirt off and I reveal just these Viking ancient tattoos all over my chest and body, and I move slowly over to him with one of the bullets. I never knew how these really worked. And I want to slowly try to press it into his temple.
Give me your strength and brawl.
And too important.
That's true. Again, you've literally foreseen this moment. Yes.
Sorry, potence.
What was that? What was that for you, Eli?
5.
And how many was that for you, Dimitri?
I just spent a willpower, so that is a total of
What is
7
a critical?
success.
2 10s is a crit.
Right.
And how many was that? Sorry, Dimitri.
7.
Both of you break these dudes down. Like they literally
5.
never know you're coming. 5.
5 successes, and then my portent. I don't know I mean, my potence. I can't stop it. I have foreseen this death.
That's true.
And I just want it to be so slow and gentle, just slowly pushing the shell into his temple.
You start doing this, and
I picture like Cherry almost has her lips to his, like trying to just keep him ultimately distracted, like while this is happening.
he is looking at you, and Hugo, you start doing this, and you see just like something in his, like he just like snaps out of it and pulls away, which you do begin hurting him. Like you start to draw blood, and that is almost like what makes him realize, and the entire room is plunged into darkness.
And I didn't want to kill my guy, just FYI.
Oh, you did not want to kill him?
Correct.
That was enough successes that you could take him alive or not alive. Dimitri, were you trying to take your guy alive?
No.
That was kind of the implication. Yeah. Yes.
Why are we saving people? We're not the Avengers.
Maybe you're not.
Avedon.
I am.
The door opens and your Stygian shroud expands out over the room. The two machine gun wielding men again immediately begin choking and suffocating, as do is Cherry's sister that you saw, and woman that is clearly her mother. And you still have this woman that you're fighting with in the grips of your arms of Ahriman, but I'm going to see if she gets loose here, because she very much lost the last contest.
You said that that Cherry's family is in the Stygian Shroud or no?
They are.
Oh, I will.
Because when you just come up, you know, the door opens and it, they're there too. Yeah.
I'll drop Stygian as soon as the door opens.
Okay. Alrighty. Everybody like basically like coughs and wheezes for a moment and then sort of snaps out of it. Roll your strength and brawl again to see if you can hold her, because she did much better this time to get away.
And grappling is my specialty.
Mm-hmm.
If I rouse for prowess, does that? That's just damage. You said.
Yeah, that's just damage. Mm-hmm. Now, damage does apply to your. Oh, actually, your potence damage is already added to. Well, half your potence is already added to Arms Armon. I guess prowess would add all your full potence to it if you were to rouse for that ability.
Burning another willpower. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 successes without a crit. I burned the willpower because I was going for the crit, but it did not happen.
You see this woman when you've got her in the arms, and the door to the elevator opens up. She almost like twists in them and like almost ties the arms in knots for a second and breaks loose and pulls out a gun, pow, 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 and tries to shoot you. So you can give me your dex in athletics to see if you can avoid the bullets. The rest of you see everything goes absolutely jet black, and then reality starts again, and this strange woman flips out of the elevator shooting at someone inside.
Is Apple near me right now?
Apple would basically be like right by your feet. Again, for a split second, she would have been plunged into like choking supernatural darkness and then like out of it immediately. As really this like gunfire would be happening kind of right near her. This like basically would have been the second elevator door that opened up.
There was a failed. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Abaddon.
Oh, there was a failed rouse for dex and 4 successes.
You almost get out of the way, but she still wings you. And when she shoots, you see a plume of flame erupts out of the gun. And even though it wings you, it still does 1 aggravated damage. And you all see the what boom, like this elaborate plume come out of her weapon, and it illuminates the whole place. Yes, Esther, you were doing what?
I would like to kind of go down my hauntus for a second beside Apple and say, invite me in.
Come in, you can come in.
And then as soon as she says that, I'm gonna take a leap and go for the legs of the woman who just fired on Abaddon.
All right. Cherry, you see Hugo goes, and again, it's working. Like he draws blood, but like the guy, and just like kind of steps back for a second, and he goes, last chance of diplomacy. As again, all this insanity is just shooting and tackling and all of these. He very much goes, last chance of diplomacy here before things get unfortunate.
So I would like to, if I can, because I just wanted to pull the guy away, because if I'm going to kill him, I at least want to get some info out of him. I kind of want to pull him into one of the rooms that would have been, off the hallway. Hopefully nobody seeing me grab him real fast.
Yep, you could do that. I mean, all eyes were literally on Cherry, and then the supernatural smackdown that has taken place. So nobody noticed.
I want to kind of slam him against the wall. First of all, you need to keep your eyes where they're supposed to be. Secondly, and I kind of want to pat through his stuff really quick and see if I can find a wallet or anything.
He is wearing a full tactical rig. I mean, the flak jacket, the belt with all the pouches and things. There's nothing personal on this dude.
All right,
and he also has the earpiece.
Oh, I want to crush that.
Okay.
All right. So look, this can go a couple of different ways, and I'm sure you have an idea of how that might be. So
I feel like that's the exact second that Dimitri's like,
yeah,
the other guy in the background.
Yeah, like you hear the crack.
Like tube of toothpaste.
Yeah. You don't want to end up like your friends, and I admit, I have a friend out there. You've probably heard of her. I'm sure she's in your files, Avedon. You see, we've got a lot of people in a lot of places, and so we already know who your family is. Now, I don't want to hurt you, and I don't really want to hurt them, but we will if we have to. How many people are in here, and what the hell do you want?
Give me your manipulation and intimidation.
All right, probably not my best skills, but that's all right.
Can
Well,
I assist in any way in the intimidation?
I'll give you 2 dice from him like breaking this dude in the background.
All right, manipulation, intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I rolled 3 rouse checks to heal 1 aggravated damage, and miraculously passed all 3.
Hey.
I kind of has a set. I was looking forward to Poor Hunger. I was really looking forward to it.
Hey, yes, the hole opens up and like immediately almost like closes back. And when that happens, she looks right at you and she's like, abomination. Esther, you were trying to shoot the double there. So again, that would be strength and brawl for you to try and take her out. Cherry, again, the man says last chance at diplomacy.
I'm still pressing on this same route.
Mm-hmm.
So I follow him as he kind of staggers and steps back, keeping my grabbing my hands onto his shoulders and kind of like feeling up and down his shoulder and his upper arms. And I'm like, diplomacy, is that what you call it?
Hey! Call off your friend here, and maybe we can work something out. Hey, look. Maybe your dad doesn't have to go to prison for the rest of his life. All right. Maybe all of you don't have to have your faces plastered on every wanted bulletin for the next 3 states over. Like maybe this was all just a mistake, right?
Maybe. But how am I supposed to believe you have the power to change any of that?
Well, I first of all, I gotta apologize. You're much smarter and more impressive in person. Look, you're right. I'm an agent of greater powers, but believe me when I tell you, I got no reason to lie to you. If I don't walk out of this place, your entire life will be ashes.
See, there's just 2 things that you don't understand. The first is that my entire life already is ashes. And the second is that my friend doesn't take orders from anyone.
What do you do, Hugo?
Hugs.
Monsters. I slowly caress his cheeks. And I run my long, yellow, almost greenish fingernails across his hairline, shaving his hair off the top of his head. And I hug him. Aren't we all? And I just start squeezing him until every rib cage pops.
Give me your strength and brawl. How many was that on your strength and brawl there, Esther?
4.
4? All right. Let's see.
Oh, it's not gonna be good, kids.
Or it's gonna be great.
Okay. So 2 10s means what?
That is a crit. That's good.
Okay, cool. So I got 6 successes, 2 which were 2 10s.
Okay. Esther, you see as she shoots Avedon and you see the bullet wings her, she goes to like lunge back at her with the knife because now she's got a gun in one hand and a knife in the other. And you very much like hit her in the legs and have your arms around her. And Avedon, you see this. Like she almost like hasn't taken her eyes off of you. She's still trying to like sprawl to get back to her feet to keep fighting you.
Well, and my arms are off of her already, right? Is she? How close is she to me? Is she within bitch slap range?
Yeah. I mean, you could move close enough to bitch slap, especially with like Esther bulldogging her right now. You definitely. Yeah.
I'm gonna. What can I do to make the biggest pool that I can? That I can like touch of oblivion and also prowess slap this.
Well, let's see. Hang on. Let's just read it here. I will give you an extra 2 dice to your touch of oblivion simply because Esther is holding her in place. Narratively, you could be bitch slapping her.
Do you know what that roll is? And right in front of you, that one I forget.
I do. Touch of oblivion is your. It does require a rouse check, and it is your strength and brawl.
Oh, and that is a failed rouse check. I am at 4 hunger. My flaw kicks in.
You all see Avedon has this open wound on her side that just sort of like closes up. And when she comes out of the elevator, where all of you can see, a line forms across her forehead and blood starts coming down across her face and also out of her wrists as stigmata open up on her as she comes forward towards this woman. And Esther, as you're holding her, she looks up at you and she's like, no. I
think you're dead.
May the holy blood cleanse you, my child. And that's when I'd smack the shit out of
her. You can have 2 extra dice again on your strength and brawl because again, she's incapacitated. You, Cherry, for the first time that you can remember in your entire life, hear your mom praying over from the couch. She hasn't moved from that spot. And oh yeah, that is uniquely not helpful. There.
My name's Diana. That's really not nice.
Yeah, I feel called out also.
Wait, what happened? What'd I do? How many successes was that there, Avedon? Oh, wait.
4,
Oh,
6.
sorry.
That's 8. 8 no crit.
Purple face.
All right. I'm just looking for the injury table because that's a thing that's important. Perfect. What do you intend to do to her with your touch of oblivion? It does a lasting damage to her.
As my hand makes contact with her face, lasting as in like I can leave a permanent scar, or
you can render her mute, deaf, or blind.
Slap the sight right out of her.
Yeah, I was just saying, as my hand makes contact with her, right to her temple. Excuse me. I do. I get her right in the dome and literally smack the sight out of her.
Just rub your hand across her eyes there. She screams and her face turns to the side as she reaches up to grab her face there, and it is an awful wailing howl, which up until now she's been so smug with you. Not anymore. Dimitri, having squeezed your dude and dropped him and seeing all of this taking place, what's Dimitri do? You definitely see Esther shoot the power double on this woman and Avedon come up and put the pimp hand on her. And you also notice that Eli has this other man kind of up against the wall thugging him.
And we've got, can I see the other 2?
If you were to move forward, you could. Yes.
I'm going to take a step forward as if I'm going to help with this struggle at the elevator, but then I'm going to clock the other 2 guys, and the goal there is to hit one in the throat, incapacitate, and then pounce on the second.
All right, strength and brawl. Again, they are still hypnotized by Cherry's literal presence in the room. In the midst of all of this, like something in their reptile brains knows they should fight, but that was a significant number of successes, and they are enthralled.
And I have specialty in grappling. I applied an extra die last time. Would that apply
Yep,
this time?
it still applies as long as you're attempting to grab one of them. Yep.
Oof. Hold, please.
Hmm.
I would like
Lord
to
dice don't count.
expend another willpower to reroll some of that.
Eli, while you've got this guy and you're like, I don't want to hurt you. What was your roll there on your?
I got 3 successes.
He just goes, you wouldn't hurt my family. Like, come on.
Maybe I wouldn't. But there's about 6 other people in that room that would. And I'm the only thing standing between you and them.
All right. What do you want to know? What do you want to know? Why are you even here? This Thorn dude was an asshole.
That may be, but you see, you can't just because people are assholes. You can't go around just killing them, kidnapping their families. So I'm going to ask you once, why are you here? And how many of you are in here?
We're here because Cherry and you are fucking terrorists, and Winston Thorne has been financing your whole operation.
I don't know about the rest of them, but that's not true for me. So what does it matter to you? What are we doing that's hurting you?
I'm just following orders, man. I'm just following orders, trying to protect people. All right? Like, look. Hey, I'm not trying to die over this shit, okay? You want to knock me out, take my sidearm, you do whatever you got to do. I didn't see anything, but you got bigger problems than me, man. You got bigger problems than me.
Oh, do tell.
You're all made. That photographer, the Russian dude with no nose. Like, I haven't seen you in the pictures, but I guarantee you I will now. Like, you're all burned. You ever like you ever hear like when like there's no point in trying to get away because you can't outrun the radio? Like, you could kill us all, it's not going to change anything.
Well, I guess we'll find out. I am going to shoot him.
We broke Eli.
I don't take well to being threatened by people.
Point blank, he's
It's
defenseless.
harder to outrun a bullet than the radio.
Unless Hugo's the one wielding it.
It's true. Point blank, he's defenseless. Hugo, when you go to squeeze him, you get your arms around him, but he's slippery. You had 6, but he had 7. You go to grab him, and he hip tosses you over the couch, and he just stands up, and he's like, oh, and he looks down at the woman that is like laying on the ground, holding her face there, and he's like, oh, all right, I guess we're done here, aren't we? And he holds his gun out and he shoots out the window, and like wind comes blowing in because this is the 30th floor, and he just looks and he goes, well, until next time, Miss Cherry. And he goes to jump out the window.
Can I sprint
Now,
and chase him?
That's what I was about to say. Those of you with celerity,
Arm of arm on him.
I will say the 2 of you with celerity and you with arms of Ahriman will all get 1 shot at him
I
before he
want one
jumps
shot
out the
at him
window
though too, but with something else.
to literally throw the bullet at him.
I want to try and catch him right in the spine with a fist.
Well, yes, you are fast enough, Esther.
No, wait.
You're fast enough to strengthen brawl, Esther. I will say, do you have celerity?
Yeah.
No. Eli, does Eli have celerity?
Yeah, I've got 2 in celerity.
2 in celerity, you would
Yeah.
be fast enough to try and get to him in time. And yes, with the arms of Ahriman, since they're supernaturally fast, you would have a shot at him also, Abaddon. And what are you trying to do, Hugo?
Trying to get to him.
I would also like to know
I'm
if
trying
I
to take a
somehow,
selfie with him.
if we all miss him
Uh-huh.
and he goes out the window, I'm gonna follow him out.
You're gonna jump. You're gonna go out the window.
I haven't gotten to test my toughness levels yet, but I'm about to.
I mean, theoretically, 30 floors should not be survivable, but he seems pretty confident. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right. Well, so what do I need to roll to? For the
Well, first, let's just even see if you catch him before he goes out. So,
All right.
what was your 5 for Armand? Okay,
I had 6.
6.
You said this was strength and brawl.
Strength and brawl. I'm gonna you know, I will let you roll. Ooh, this is another good one. Let's see. This is not going to be a good roll for you, unfortunately, Hugo, but Dex and Technology to see if you can get a selfie with a guy before he goes out the window. Hey, that's 2. All right, there you go. Like,
You know what?
Strength and larceny.
2?
and
That would be
Dex and-
amazing.
Dex and Technology.
Yeah.
Somebody tell Alex Ward. He'll be very proud of me. All right. I'm going to get, ooh.
You know what? I'm gonna spend one more willpower on
Okay.
this as well.
Okay.
I got 2. Can I spend willpower?
You can to roll up to 3 of the blank black dice.
This is apparently vital.
I mean,
It's real
Oh
important.
yes, a 10, an 8, and a 7.
okay.
And
That was
Fine
5
successes on
for
mine.
5 for the Armand. How many for you, Eli?
I have 5 as well.
5. And how many for Esther?
6.
He also got 5. And ties go to the active kindred, which is you guys. So he's like, pow, pow, pow. Welp, bye. And you all see just sort of a flurry as the shadows leap to life. And you see he scrambles backwards from them, still trying to get out the window as they wrap around his ankle. And Eli comes in and body checks him also. And Esther comes through and and he just sort of like slumps to the ground, like
You just body slam him onto the floor.
I'd like to shake him a little bit and just be like, I said no.
you gonna hulk him a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if his
He's-
back wasn't broken,
And as he's laying in, Esther, you felt a satisfying crunch in his ribs and bones. Mortal flesh is no match for you. You got him. And as he slides down, beat up a little bit by the arms, he sort of looks at all of you, and again, he goes to straighten his tie, and he goes, this is not gonna set you free, Cherry. This won't set you free.
Yeah, what is gonna set her free then?
Do I get to take my selfie?
Oh, yeah. Okay, you got the selfie.
Abaddon, holding him by the leg with the tentacles still, will take another arm of Armand and kind of curl it down below her and sit on it like it's a stool right in front of him and go, yeah, what he said. So what will set her free? And also, what is all of this? Why do you have her family here? What is
He looks up at you with the stigmata. And he's like,
yes. So I think you better start answering some questions.
he looks over at the other woman that you blinded. You see is struggling to get to her feet, Abaddon. And you saw she fought in the dark once before. Like, she's like, and like getting up. And he just says, Artemis, stand down. And you see she holds up the knife and like she just sort of tilts her head very much right at you, Eli. And then just sort of turns again very much right towards you, Esther. And she's like, I can still take him. I can still take him. And he goes, no. Hold. And he starts to struggle to stand if you guys let him, because Eli, you were on him, and Abaddon, you were too.
I leave my tentacle around his ankle, kind of like a little shackle. I give him a little slack so that, like, you know, I'm not like holding him super tight. I let him stand up, but I don't let him like run.
Dimitri, give me your wits and awareness.
Do we want to resolve the murder?
Yes.
I had 5 successes.
It is, again, more than enough to break them down, especially when they basically were incapacitated by Cherry. It is almost academic to just like, yep. And there is, again, cold wind blowing in, and you realize Apple has scrambled over towards her mom, and the two of them are sort of like huddled up on the couch. And
so failures only matter if you have 0 successes?
yeah.
Okay.
If you get a 1 on the blood die and no other successes.
Cool. I got 3 successes on wits and awareness.
Dimitri, you hear a faint beeping sound. Very gentle.
Like a potential explosive?
That would be something that it could be attached to, yes.
Can I? Is it outside or is it inside?
It is inside.
Everybody, get to the elevator now!
Mm,
And
I
I'm gonna try
run
and grab
immediately towards Apple.
Cherry's
I
mom.
am going to cover her with my body. That's all I'm doing today.
I would like to go up to the woman that I blinded. And if I could, I would like to slice her throat and drain her of blood until she's on the brink of death. And then I'm going to bite into my own wrist and smear it across her tongue.
You are going to attempt to turn the hunter?
Oh, yeah. And as I'm doing it, I'm going to say to her, a blood price needs to be paid. The Dark Father Cain demands humble servants. You will learn your lesson.
As you approach her, I mean, she swings wildly at you, but again, you are a very good fighter and you get her and bleeds out. I will say this happens immediately before Dimitri tells everybody to run and get out. So you're not like, if I may.
But first.
Yeah. Now, as a hunter, she has a certain chance to resist this. In other instances with mortals, there is no resistance, but hunters do have a shot at it, at this just not working as a part of their abilities. Give me your stamina and resolve, Avedon.
Oh, gladly.
You absolutely slice her throat. She absolutely is dying. It's whether or not the embrace happens is what we're attempting to rectify here.
Also, I went to also rouse for resolve, and that was a fail. So I am now at 5 hunger and looking very, very wild-eyed and very angry as I'm doing this.
Especially, well, you know what? That's a second thing is going to happen. For those of you, when she cuts this woman and you smell her blood smells awful. It is stinging and acrid. It is very medicine-y, like 200 proof alcohol. It stings your eyes, it burns your nose. Like usually Vitae smells good, and it does not at all.
Yeah.
It was 3 successes on that.
Right, let's see. You also got 3, but ties go to the active vampire. You give her the Vitae, and that is when Dimitri's like, everybody out. Everybody out. What do you all do when he comes running out telling you this?
I want to drag the fellow that we all just attacked by his ankle towards the elevator.
I'll help.
Towards the elevator? You say
Yeah.
Hugo goes towards Apple and like covers her with his body? Yeah.
More than that. It's so much more upsetting. So Hugo, he just takes his arm, his left arm, and pulls it with his right, and pulls it out of its socket, and drapes it around her, around Apple, Cherry's sister. And then he pulls with his left weak arm, pulls his right shoulder out of its socket, and drapes it around Apple. And then he elongates his neck until it snaps, until he forms a Hugo cocoon. Limp, no muscle left connecting any bone.
He
That's it.
covers her up, and you see Cherry. Again, your mom, still being mortal, is also captivated by your previous spectacle, but is aware in a primal sense of what's happening next to her. It's like, Cherry, is he hurting Apple?
It's absolutely the opposite. Get down.
Are we leaving? Are we staying?
Get to the elevator. We must get out of here.
You see, she hears him. She's aware of him, but again, she's supernaturally enthralled by you, Apple.
Mom, just get out of here.
She grabs Apple by the hand and she's like, "Can she go? Can we all go? Can we go?"
Can I snag her mom by the back of the shirt as I'm going towards the elevator?
Yeah, she's defenseless. Very much. Esther is dragging the other man.
Yeah, I want to sprint to the window to see how he thought he was going to survive. If there's anybody else out there, and then I'll sprint back to help Esther drag this guy.
When you look down, you're not sure. Looks like 30 feet in concrete.
All right.
You're not sure.
I'll have to ask him about that later then.
Yep. You drag him in. Hugo, do you let them move Apple? Because actually, Cherry, you witnessed this scene. You witnessed everybody actively fleeing to get out. Important point of clarification. Are you guys going back in the main lobby elevator, or are you going to call the servants elevator?
I was running towards the main one in my head because that was the closest.
Right.
Okay. Main one. Okay.
Everyone's faster.
Yep. Cherry, what do you say?
Hugo, don't you think we should get out?
Go wherever you want. Wherever everyone wants. My job is to protect Apple. I protect Apple.
I think we can protect her best by getting her out of this building right now.
Okay.
You do feel she sort of like gently squeezes onto the lapels of like your ripped shirt. And she's like, come on, Hugo, let's get out of here. We'll get out of here.
It's literally the only. I will. For reference, Hugo would rather die, and I would rather this character die than Apple, this 14-year-old girl, die. I will break every bone in his body. So he's gonna take care of where he needs to. He's not the brightest boy, but he's not anything is going to get exposed to any kind of damage.
Sherry, when
I take
you
it where you want.
see this, the lengths he's willing to go to, what does Cherry do?
Cherry puts her hands on Hugo's distorted limbs and says, "Come on.
Boneless Hugo.
Will you help carry her for me? Let's get her out. And then I have something for you."
You all start moving out of the apartment. Yes, Esther, were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say I make it a point to grab the folder that he had.
Perfect. You take that and you drag him out. Avedon, presumably you're carrying Artemis with you.
Yes.
You all literally pile into the elevator, and it is very much at capacity. And as it starts going down, it goes down about 2 floors, and you hear the fire alarm starts, and the elevator stops moving.
Can I'd like to try and pull some superhero bullshit.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I'm super down.
where's the vampire character?
I like where this is headed.
Got
Special
5.
discipline.
I'd like to pull the move that Eli did before, but I don't have that leap, so I just want to use pure muscle and just straight through the ceiling. And then I do have an old 357 revolver that I carry with me, and I'd like to try and shoot the elevator ties. Boom, boom, and hope the brakes kick in about 6 floors lower.
I'm gonna give that to you on the rule of cool. That make your dex and firearms there, because again, you are a professional. So let's see. I'm gonna say, whereas Eli sort of effortlessly just leapt before, you sort of post off of some people and scramble up like a wild animal. Dimitri just like knock the lid off and scramble up and boom, boom.
That is 2 successes.
Aw.
Can I, if I see what he's doing, can I attempt to shoot as well?
You can.
All right.
Yep. He like kind of like, you know, boot on your shoulder, boot on your head. Eli, I'm there.
Yeah.
And like, bang. Yep.
All right. All right.
I mess up because literally, if
I'm
they
gonna
fail, Hugo dies.
I'm gonna spend my last.
No pressure, right?
I'm gonna spend
pressure.
another willpower
Mm-hmm.
because
Oh, I forgot about that.
that was
Mhm.
not.
Yeah, you still can if you
Okay, yeah,
if you want there.
definitely.
'Cause
That was
I've
about
yet
to
to
be-
say what's going to happen. So, were you about to best you'll fail?
Yep.
You're like, no witnesses.
Yep. That's exactly
They've
what
seen
happened.
my
I mean, it
face.
solves our problem.
Whoa!
All right.
That escalated
we're all
relatively
dead.
quickly.
It is a solution. I don't know if it's the solution, but it is a
Remember those
solution.
4 episodes we talked about? Not so fast.
Not so much.
Well, episode
Hey,
3.
I was the jerk for saying we didn't say you guys were coming back. Yeah, okay.
It's
That was
a
4
story
after
of
my
personal
willpower.
tragedy.
4. How many did Dimitri end up with?
That only jumps me up 1 to 3.
But that's enough. You guys are boom, 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 and you all do is like as you are like plummeting downward. And Cherry, your mom and Apple are screaming as it is plummeting. And again, you all do hear as the brakes kick in, and you all are slammed to the floor, and you hear as a deafening explosion goes off. And that is a good place for us to stop.
Yeah.
That could not have worked out any
I
better.
just want to say
in
one
my head.
thing.
Yeah.
Do it.
Monsters. Aren't we all?
As you say that,
I jot it down in my phone.
Artemis's hand comes up and rests on your shoulder, Avedon, and just balls into the cloth. And she just says, "What have you done to me?"
Made you worth it to yourself and to the only one that truly matters, the Dark Father. You're welcome.
We'll see y'all next week.
Bye. Oh, I need to pick our winners.
Oh, winners! Wait, are we
had
still
such,
on?
like, a great
That wasn't
dramatic
remotely
moment there, and I
intense.
forgot that I have to give out
It's true.
dice tonight.
I
I'm
mean,
just-
dice. Yes,
Stating
Cherry.
out loud so that I remember this next week is that at this point, Cherry is still not wearing a shirt.
I mean, neither is Hugo, so I feel
True.
like that's
Cherry and
sexist.
Hugo are both super
Yeah,
topless
gotta-
right now.
I gotta tell you, I've played my fair share of vampire. That was a first. That was a first where someone self-assisted with toplessness. That is
It
that is a
helps.
first.
It
This is
can't
di-
hurt, you know?
It's literally never the wrong move. Yes.
All right,
So-
Shadow Kitty Hero is our first winner.
Hey.
Hey!
Bear Glove 01.
Like we're Fonzie of
Hey.
vampires.
I have questions.
It's true. It's innately valid bear glove.
Tens 83, which seems counterintuitive on some level. Airy 37.
Wait. Did we? So how many are we giving away?
We're going up to 7 giveaways because we doubled our sub goal.
So we
and
did
then
make
some.
we made the sub goal.
Oh, yeah.
Hey!
Blew it away.
I know
Damn.
you're burying the lead here. I know. Yeah.
I'm the worst. I assume everyone's looking.
No,
at my
a lot's
hand.
happening. There's toplessness. We're embracing hunters. There's explosions. I get it. It's a lot.
When
It's a
we
lot.
get in that Hugo emote, that's what I want.
Yeah,
I'll,
what,
I'll
right?
work
Hugo
on
emote?
that. For next week, I will try and have something done for you, Hugo.
Y'all, internet. We need a Hugo emote.
Internet,
need
help
it.
me.
Yeah, help us.
Julian-
Help us.
Fan
Help
art.
you.
And fan art is really important. So
1,
Fan
2,
art.
3, 4,
Hashtag fan art.
5.
Sorry,
It's
what was
just
it? Right.
It's just this face.
It's just
So-
the fingers.
That is true. 7 of them. Extra
It's
knuckles.
just
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
It's a GIF.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
And Chaser
Oh,
6-4.
it doesn't
Okay.
make you uncomfortable, B.
Our
Dave.
winners:
Mhm.
Shadow Kitty Hero, Bear Glove 01, Tens 83, Airy 37,
What is?
Julandrin,
Stop it.
Strauss 1, and
Strauss won.
Chaser-
Boo. He doesn't get any. Hey.
Wow.
Strauss is a major villain in the story. That's all.
Just let it happen, B. Dave.
Okay, neonates. Yes. And what was the last person? I was busy
Chaser
being horrified.
6495.
Chaser,
so all of
say
you
what-
guys, shoot me an email. Let me know your address and what clan you want me to send your way, and we'll get you some fancy dice to play with.
Where do
Congrats,
they email
guys.
you at? That's relevant.
What?
Your
Diana
email
at
address.
levelupdice.net. It's in chat.
Hey, Diana at
I'm the
levelupdice.net.
only
Hey, and congratulations to you guys who won, and thank you all for tuning in. You've literally made it possible for me to be terrible to these people for 4 more weeks. So, thank you. LA by Night is done for this season, but there is more vampire goodness. We have one more epilogue for Long Beach by Night with our best boy, our best werewolf, Joey of the Shadow Lords, with a special guest there. And also Wednesday nights, actually not this Wednesday because we have a different thing, but Wednesday nights on Q Times is the story that Melee Damage Story tells, which is Denver by Night. But you can catch the VODs of the first. Have you guys done 2 or 3 already?
We have done 3.
You can catch the recording of the first 3 right now on Q Times, both Twitch and on the YouTubeages. And join us back here next Friday for more silky smooth and uneventful vampire realness. And,
If you can't wait until then, Mason's doing D&D on Mondays, Wednesdays, and then Call of Cthulhu on Thursdays. Over at Wizard Rex TV, Todd is constantly on D&D Beyond doing like everything, right? Like
All
you
the
run the show
all
over
the
there.
time. All the time.
Justice, Emily, and I are tethered to dice, but B Dave, you have a Kickstarter going on right now, and you're all over the place too. So check out these beautiful people. We'll be on the internet between now and then.
I do have something.
Oh,
Yes.
I have an amazing wife. Her name is Megan Kenrick.
Ooh,
That's
Megan.
also
She's
my
amazing.
last name. She's a fantastic digital artist and technical artist. If you've ever been into a sorry, I'm having trouble talking. Grocery store, she's literally made all the things. Like she's color corrected everything you've ever seen in your life. She's looking for a job or freelance opportunities. So.
and
throw
an
that out.
astonishing performer in her own right. She is a good at the graphic designing and the things, and also at
Also
the
a great
performing and the
streamer.
words. Yes,
Yeah.
also a great streamer. Yes,
She's
so
a lovely human being.
she is the absolute bestest. Yes. All
Yes.
right, hook her up. Wait, she's Megan Kenrect on the Twitters,
Correct.
right?
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
She
Because
likes
why
to
not?
make-
Fitting.
She likes to make fun of my last name.
I mean, hey, that's the difference. Like you, like she chose it. You
I
were
was gonna say, she
born
took
into
it,
it.
though.
I was born into it.
That's right. All right. Thank you guys. May, thank you for hanging in there despite the migraine and for still coming back to be terrible. Thank
Oh
you so much for
God,
that.
May, I have never played with you, but whoa, someone who actually like recovered from a migraine and continued to play.
You're
Are
a
you kidding
hero.
me?
to us all.
I'm not recovered. It's
Yeah,
not
You-
recovered.
no. Yeah,
Recovered is
She's in
strong.
remission.
not recovered.
Let's let her go. Let's let her
Yeah.
go recover.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
But you're
amazing.
hardcore. Super
You're
metal.
amazing.
Yeah, you're super metalsk. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you guys,
Thank
and
you.
we'll see you on all the assorted things. Oh, and Jasper's game day on Wednesday. That's
Oh,
important.
yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Oh,
All
and
We're
tomorrow.
doing that. Bye.
All right. Good night,
Bye.
everyone.
Oh wait, and one-on-one shots.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This Sunday, one-on-one shots with May and I, where we'll be talking one-on-one about her background. She is a international recording artist. She's on CDs that you own right now that you don't realize that you've been listening to her voice for years, and how she got into gaming and all sorts of other stuff. So we'll be doing that on Q Times
Awesome.
after the epilogue at 1:00 on 1:00 Pacific, twitch.tv/Q Times.
Say
And
that
we
one
love
more
you
time,
all.
slow enough for normal people to hear it.
twitch.tv/Q Times, 1:00 Pacific. So hey, show up for the epilogue at noon and then just hang out, and then we'll be doing the things. Yes.
Thanks, B Dave. Okay, now good night for real, everybody.
For real.
We'll see you next Friday.
Dice.
Oh, yeah.
Level up dice.